Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky. You realize you know I am. Open your eyes. You can find the trails that goes wrong.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle. Where might that be? In the most popular city in California, Fresno. Alright, don't laugh. Fres yes, people, Fres yes. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. Welcome wherever you may be. I appreciate you being here on a Sunday evening when playoffs are happening. So you know what? Just mute the playoff. You don't need to listen to it. You can watch it and crank us up wherever you may be. We are broadcasting video on live stream as you are watching us right now. But if you don't want to watch it, you can go to the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Yes, the famous Art Bell website is broadcasting our feed worldwide on the Dark Matter Network, and we want to thank them for that. My co-host, to my right, to your left, Alan Thomas.
Good evening, everyone.
And womaning the board in the dark corner of the Paranormal Central, way back there, Emerald Bonilla.
Hi, everybody.
We have another fantastic show tonight. I mean, this is getting awesome. One right after the other, one right after the other. And we have Dr. Turi on tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. And then we have Bigfoot witness with photos. And then we have another witness to the Gargoyle in Dayton, Ohio, guys. Oh my gosh. Yes, he called in. I think he works like for somebody very important. So we can't tell you guys who he is, because I have no idea who he is. But he's willing to come on and tell us a story, because that other guy from Dayton, Ohio, told his story. So he said, you know what, we need to back that story up. So that's going to be awesome. We got a long, yeah. So we got another killer show for you guys tonight, and I can't wait. So we're going to get on with the show. You guys all know we have the Squatch Report, Danny Valderrama, and we're going to get him on the line right now. Danny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Danny has his truck idling, right?
And full enthusiasm, I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cold down here in the basement.
I tell you, you know what?
Your mom
boxes by the window.
We better send your mom some money so we can give you some
Think about fun, man.
some dog food or cat food or something.
I'll eat anything, even spam.
Spam.
Ew.
Hey, now there's nothing wrong with spam, mister.
No, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I like a spam too.
I don't care what kind of meat it is.
No? You don't like spam?
No way.
No? Emerald?
My mom used to make it all the time.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. I personally like it. Okay, so.
The mystery meat.
So it's a mystery meat. Yeah, don't even tell me what's in it, because I don't want to know. So, all right, Mr. Danny Valderrama, Mr. Squatch Report for January the 18th. You sent me some photographs, which I have in my possession. I am going to pull up your file right now. And all right, let's shoot for number one. You're on.
All right, story number one.
You notice Danny has a file.
Yeah,
got a file.
I told
for
you to get
Danny.
files, man. X-Files.
Yeah. X-Files might be coming back. We'll talk about that later if we have time.
Yeah.
She's sweet. Okay, go ahead.
So it's the Bigfoot evidence page from Tuesday, January 6th.
Also, hold on, Danny. For all those who are watching or listening at the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com, these photographs are on the homepage right now, marked Paranormal Central. So go ahead and just click on it, and you can follow them as we are going through them right now with picture number 1, so you guys will not miss out. Okay? All right, go for it, Danny.
All right. These are game camera pictures. There's 2 of them. One's the regular game picture from the camera, and the other one is enlarged picture. It was taken on December 20th of 2014, and the timestamp on it is 11:12 p.m. And what the first picture appears to show is a dark figure behind a bush. Now, someone reported that they could see eye shine on these. You could see the 2 eyeballs. But, if a person was wearing all black and had one of those stockings on their face with the eyes cut out, it could just be the eyes, their eyes and the skin reflecting when the camera flashes to take a picture. But I don't see the mouth cut out that's usually on there. So
okay.
But if a person was walking around in pitch dark in the forest, they'd have to know where that camera is in order to hide behind a tree.
Right.
So
yeah,
either it's something really there, or it's somebody hoaxing it or hiding behind a bush and trying to get the camera to go off while they're behind the bush.
True. Oh, I didn't think about
But
that.
Or a scarecrow.
there was no name released, and no location. So are we saying it's fake? No, we're saying it's inconclusive because there's not enough evidence. There's no story or anything. It's just somebody sent these pictures into Bigfoot evidence.
Okay. Well, hey,
So,
there you go.
not much to go on.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go to the number 2 photograph, which is it's a zoomed-in version of the number 1 photograph. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in, so that way you guys can all see that.
Oh, cool. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, so, obviously, it looks
Doesn't
like...
look too big.
Whatever it is, it's blending in with the tree, and that's not a very big tree. So, like it's underneath the tree, and it's coming out of the branches. That's what it looks like to
I don't
me.
know, because that branch right underneath the eye, it's going through him. Like, if you look towards out on the other side of the head, it looks like that branch is going through him.
Ooh, like a shadow being or something, right?
Ooh, okay.
Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff in the forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why we go to the forest.
Yeah.
Because that's where everything is at. All right, cool. All right, let's go to number 3. And we got... Oh, this is the
ears.
Russian one, right?
Yep.
Go
This
for
is
it.
from the Mirror UK version, January 14th, 2015. And it says it's a group of Russian researchers went to the mountains, and they got a video. Now, the video is going to be posted on the Paranormal Central page. And it's also, Keith put a link to it on the Art Bell page underneath the picture, so you can watch it on there, too. And they claim to have captured the best footage of Bigfoot, or Yeti, as they call it, too. And it marched out of the woods before disappearing seconds later, and that's what the video shows. It's probably about 10 seconds or less, and it just comes out and goes back in.
Now,
But it looks like it stops. After it gets away from the camera, it just stops.
Now, I saw the video a couple times, and it is the stride. It's like 1 foot in front of the other, not like a human being would walk left, right, left. You know what I'm saying? This guy is
And the leg lift is there too,
okay.
but
And-
you'd need it to walk in the snow too. So
Right. So and his, it looks like the snow is past his knee, right?
hmm
Yeah, so it's pretty deep. So think about this, guys. Have you ever tried walking in the snow, foot first, and then put the other foot, I don't know, like I'm looking at what this picture is right now, 4 feet maybe, 3 feet, 4 feet in front, and then lifting your other foot out and putting it way over in front. That's what this thing is doing right here.
So he doesn't drag his foot in the snow like when we walk in it. We actually like we don't pull our feet all the way out. You know what I mean? Like you make like a railroad track looking thing.
Okay, and if you notice also that this guy, this thing, the snow is all the way up in the knee.
Right.
Now this guy was jamming through the snow, wasn't he, Danny?
Yeah, he was walking pretty fast.
He was walking pretty fast. How many of you have walked extremely fast in the snow with the snow all the way up in your knee? This guy was pulling his leg out. Boom.
For about
boom.
30
You
seconds.
kind of, when you take a step, you kind of wait to see how far you sink down
Right.
before you take the next step.
No, this guy was jamming. So for those guys, for all those who haven't seen the video, go to Paranormal Central Facebook, Paranormal Central page. Danny puts all of this stuff on that link. If you have not liked that page, do it now.
Plus,
all right.
It's on artbell.com right now.
The pictures.
The video's on there too.
Yeah.
The video and the picture.
Oh, the video too? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sweet. There you go. Art Bell has
Put
it.
the video on there.
All right, cool. And Keith put the video on the Art Bell page. For all those who are on Art Bell, go check it out right now, and you will see what we're talking about. You mean this person here has some leg muscles to be moving through the snow that fast.
I mean, even just looking at him, he looks like he's determined to get out of there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though you're looking at the back of him, just his body language kind of thing looks like he's like wanting out.
Right.
I don't know though.
Now check this out.
Looks too close, though. They're really close to it.
Right,
Yeah.
they are. Now, if this was a guy in a costume, all right, the costume would be
Not even
baggy.
a costume, just something all one color that you
okay.
wear in the
Well, look at
snow.
his head though. His head looks way too small.
Well,
That's exactly how the Bigfoot I saw looked.
Oh.
not all of them have pointed heads. I heard there some different. The Yetis and the Sasquatch. They all have depending on the location. I think that's because of the pointed heads and the regular heads, but this guy was moving. All right, this guy was moving fast in the snow.
You go by like their body. The body is massive looking, and that usually will give it away. The head you can't go by if it's pointy or conical or
Right.
whatever.
I don't know. Just the way this guy was
The way they
moving.
walk.
Yeah, the guy with the way this thing was moving, he was moving really fast, and the snow was all the way up to his knees, and it's putting one foot in front of the other, 4 feet at stride. Okay, think about that before you make a decision about this guy in a costume, because put a Bigfoot costume on and go walk in the snow, and see if you can mimic this guy's speed.
How do we know it was 4 feet?
Well, I'm a human being. If I was to spread my legs that wide, and I'm 6'2", I could tell you it'd be about 4 feet.
Okay.
Plus, you'd probably be on your butt.
Probably falling down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're guesstimating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a little kid.
No.
They did take foot casts in the snow, and when they pulled the foot cast out, it appeared to have toes on it. So that's
Okay.
kind of weird.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that.
That
But
is weird.
the group was up there because they said that they had seen on TV that there was reported sightings up there. So they got a group together and they went up there
Wow.
and they interviewed some witnesses along the mountainside. And one of the witnesses said that he was at his door and he saw something big and shaggy walk by. And he said that the creature looked like a bear, but was not a bear because it was walking away.
Right.
And then another witness heard footsteps outside of his place, and he accounted for everybody inside the house. And they went outside and they saw just huge footprints. They didn't see what it was, but they said that whatever it was to make that footprint that deep in the snow would have to be 200 kilos. And for our drug friends out there, that's 440 pounds. So that's and they made plaster casts, and they said they gave all their evidence to the local scientists to see what they could come up with. But when they got up to the mountain, they were stunned to hear the crunching sound. So it sounds like as soon as they got up to the mountain, they got this footage of a hairy creature, which is
That's awesome.
pretty incredible
See?
by itself.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know what? That's usually when you get the great stuff. It's when you hear of a sighting, you just jam on over there as quick as you can, and that's probably what happened here.
They didn't have a trackway with it. Like
No, they didn't say anything about a trackway or how long the strides were or anything like that. But I've seen pictures of reported Bigfoot sighting in the snow. The tracks are pretty far apart,
Right.
and they have trouble finding where the other footprint is because they're believing how far apart the steps are. And these don't look too far apart, but
Right.
they're still pretty good size.
Yeah. I mean, it could be even farther than 4 feet. I mean, we
Right,
don't know
yeah,
how
you
big
can't
this
Some of
thing
the
is.
local
Yeah, we don't know how
Some
big
of the
this
local residents think that it might be just a publicity stunt for tourism because there's only like a 12,000 population at their little town that they have there.
Uh-huh.
But others are convinced that this is the Yeti or Bigfoot or whatever they've been seeing up there.
Cool. All right. Right on.
We'll
All
have
right.
to wait and see.
That's it. hopefully there'll be some more video or pictures. So
Can we go to Russia?
yeah. All right. Got the next picture
I'm
up.
gonna go find the gargoyle.
I remember this one.
All right, this
Go
is
for
the
it.
nurse from Ohio.
All right.
Snapped a picture. This is just about on every Bigfoot page. And it's from January 15th in LaGrange, Ohio. And this nurse driving past, I think she was with her family, because it said her husband and her children were freaked out. But she snapped a picture of a Bigfoot in northeastern Ohio. And, the picture wasn't released by her. It was released by her cousin who saw it and said that they were all freaked out about it and didn't know what to do. So he released the photo on his Facebook page, and it just kind of took off from there. And it was taken on January 11th around 2:30 p.m. And, it's...
And you figured it out. What was it?
Well, as soon as I saw it, you after looking at all this Bigfoot stuff, you
Right.
kind of recognize things as soon as you see them. And that's like frame 352 from the Patterson-Gimlin film.
Bum, bum, bum,
And
bum.
it's Patty.
Patty.
It's Patty. That's the actual picture when she looks back at the camera. Although you can't see a head turn on this, it's
Right.
when she has her both arms out and she's looking back at the camera.
So
I don't know if this is a hoax, but this is like
Yeah.
a misidentification.
Right. No. Well, I think this was now someone has a similar thing in Oakhurst, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody has a cutout of a Bigfoot with
And you showed that picture several times already,
on a
too.
plywood, and it's out in the cow pasture basically. And when people drive by, you can see it, and they do it just for fun. And this
You're
person
driving
here,
and you look real quick and
Right.
turn your head back on the road.
and then crash and die. So, oh my God,
And
Bigfoot!
so this technically is a real picture of a Bigfoot. It's just not a
Right.
living one.
Right.
It's there.
Exactly.
But we had one of our viewers, Jamie Oxtolis. He found a cutout for sale on online,
Right.
and he put that picture up, and that's the next picture, picture two.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't see that.
And
You got it.
So you found one for sale online.
All right, Jamie,
the
we're giving you
same
props here,
thing.
buddy. We're giving you props, Jamie. Jamie, I
Oh,
couldn't
man,
pronounce the last name. Alcalas? I know.
Oxtolis.
Octolus? Okay.
It's the
Oxtolis.
same thing.
It's just- yeah,
Identical,
look at
huh?
There it is.
It's identical. It's for sale, cardboard cutout, and they also have, you can buy the just the pattern and make your own out of steel or wood or plywood.
Mhm.
Make your own, put it up,
Now, even
share
the
the neighbors.
even the media took this and ran with it.
Yeah,
A lot of the
everyone was
media,
saying-
yeah, a lot of the media. No, we're talking
Yeah.
like NBC and Fox and all those guys were running this story. And come on, you guys, look, just do your homework and wait until Paranormal Central comes out with the debunking here before you put it up, because you guys are giving us making us look bad. I'm serious. I mean, those guys are. I mean, eventually, it's we find out what it is, and all of its media puts this out and then makes us look bad because it's a hoax. It's what it is. It's a joke. Somebody was playing around as a joke, and they're on their property, but yet it's making us look bad because the media is posting it all over the place, and then finally they're going to come out. Oh, look at it! It was just a cardboard cutout. See, there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Boom.
Yeah, and we also have another viewer who actually lives in Ohio.
Okay.
Took it upon himself to go out there. It's Reverend William Egan. He does the Rev Report.
That's right.
He has his
Hey,
own little
Rev.
talk show. And he took his picture. That's the next picture. And just like I said if they went back out there, because they said that they were too scared to go back out there and look for evidence.
Right.
I said if they did, it'd still be out there. So Reverend went out there, and he sent in the picture, and it's still there.
And guess what? It's
He was
it's a Bob
driving,
Squatch. It's
right?
blurry.
Was he
like
driving?
Looks like he's driving.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's driving.
Okay,
the
yeah,
picture.
it's
Yeah, I know.
cutout.
I'm just messing
That's
around.
kind of cool.
And there it
So,
is. So it's still
confirmation. It's still there.
It's still there.
It may not be she might not be hoaxing it. It's just a misidentification.
Right.
You see that real quick and
Well,
freak out. And
but you know
turn
what?
around.
Okay, now, hey, wait a minute now. If he was driving and he took this, the other one's pretty damn clear if it's a cell
Yeah.
phone. So obviously they stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, they stopped and they took the picture
And
and they're
they knew it
going,
was
oh,
fake."
it's fake. But okay, let's put it out anyways. Obviously, that's pretty much telling you right now that nurse knew exactly what it was. Because even
Pretty easy to
yeah,
tell.
yeah. I mean, the Rev pretty much just, he debunked it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah.
So they weren't driving; they stopped. Boom, busted.
Yeah, for a picture that
For a picture
clear.
that clear, absolutely. On a cell phone, yeah, busted.
And thanks
It's
Rev,
great
for
that
going out
Paranormal
there.
Central has viewers everywhere that can just get out there and go check stuff
Absolutely.
out for us.
That's right. Don't try hoaxing it because we're going to debunk you. Sweet. All right, next one.
It's from the next one is from the Cryptomundo page.
Okay.
And there's a new orang pendek expedition that's starting this week. This is on January 12th. Daniel Antal sent a report that he was going to be making his fourth orang pendek expedition in Sumatra. And even though it's the height of the rainy season, he says that the best evidence has been coming from during the rainy season because they come out from deep in the rainforest and they're more active around human settlements during this time. So he hired the best jungle guides, and he's going to be out there looking for forensic evidence and photographs, and he'll be taking pictures and doing all his research, and he won't be back until February. So it's going to be a long expedition out there. And then the next, he has 3 working possible explanations for the orang pendek, and that's the next picture. He says the first one might actually be a hobbit of some sort. And if you remember Lucy, the remains of Lucy that were found in a cave, she ended up being about 4 feet tall, so he thinks it might be something kind of like that. And that's kind of what the picture looks like. I think that is the picture of Lucy after they got her bones and did a recreation.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And then the next picture, he says it could even be a pygmy orangutan, some previously undiscovered type of orangutan, because of all the eyewitness accounts. I think it has red hair. They all agree that it is a small creature, whatever it is, in the area. And then the last picture, he says it could be, and he's leaning towards this one, I believe, a robust Simang. It's kind of like a gibbon, and it does live in Sumatra, and it has a large vocal sac beneath its chin, and with that it can make some booming calls. So I think that's one of the reports, too, that they hear screams. So, and the second and third toes on this are kind of like webbed together. They're all united. So make it easy to climb trees and get around in the forest. So
cool.
I think he's leaning towards that one is what it is. It's just a larger gibbon that they haven't discovered yet.
You know,
and anything could be in the rainforest.
well, this guy who's doing the, you know, putting all this money, why not go look for Bigfoot instead of the...
He might think he has a better chance at that one.
Think so?
Yeah,
I think this is the same area where Josh Gates got that
right.
big old footprint
that
that they made a
footprint.
big area,
I
big
see.
deal about, too.
Even Finding Bigfoot got some tracks and stuff when they were over there in a hall, or when they were over there.
Sure.
But he's doing it the right way. It's like the other guys, Josh Gates and Finding Bigfoot. They go over there and they're there for 2 or 3 days or something like that.
Right.
With,
not gonna
a
find
ton
a
of
month there.
people wandering around with them. He's actually gonna probably come back with something because he's doing it
The right way.
Yeah, I mean, you're going out there, just a few people as possible, lots of good equipment, and you're camping it.
Right.
That's how you do it.
What the hell? Is Lee awesome?
Better.
Yes.
It's
You got older.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
And,
I look like 10 years older and 10 pounds fatter.
So, all right, cool. All right.
It's coming back.
Right.
It's coming back. It's loading.
It's coming. We're coming back from the dead. All right. So, okay. Right on, Danny. Anything else?
All right. That's it.
All right.
You got 81 viewers right now. Don't lose them.
No, that's on chat. That's not viewers.
Yeah, chat.
That's just chat. So, all right, you people on chat, stay
Man,
there.
right on, Danny.
All right, Danny. Thanks,
Please
man.
stand by.
All right.
All right.
All right, Danny. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
He's still got his truck idling,
Yeah.
Keeps that thing idling.
What are you talking about? Oh, Danny.
Oh, yeah,
Danny.
he's deadly with that truck.
So, okay. We have actually 15 minutes before we call Dr. Turi. And, oh my gosh.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, it was going to be good.
Turi is
He
so cool.
is actually been all over the place, all the major shows. He's actually the big guy to the stars. And whatever. And Emerald's going to be the look over there because she might actually go after him. I
No, I I won't.
Oh, okay.
I'll be nice unless
We'll-
he says something
we'll be,
stupid.
I'll hold her back.
Throw rocks at me, throw chocolate at me.
I'll grab her chain really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jerks.
So, gosh darn it. Should we call right now? I don't know if he's.
Yes, I will call him right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, call him.
he
See
might
if
not
he's.
be ready.
He might be ready. You never know. So hey, we'll give you. I like to give him more time because we have a big show tonight with all kinds of
Do
people.
you want me to
Yeah,
call
go for it.
him?
See if he's available. So hey, we have some extra time. Let's throw Dr. Turi. And so everyone's going to call him right now, just so, so we can get some more time, and hopefully he's listening, and that way we can, get him on, and get him some more time, cause so that. Yeah, all right.
Yay.
Dr. Turi, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey, how's it
Dr.
going?
Turi.
Busy like hell.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, right?
It is.
So, all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on tonight. We have a lot of people here who don't usually listen to all of the paranormal and the show that you've been on in the past. So, introduce yourself to everybody as if it's their first time listening to you.
Well, basically, I was born and raised in the south of France, in Provence, where Nostradamus was born. I got nothing to do with a great prophet, apart from that I spent 50 years. I'm 65 now. I spent 60 years rekindling his divine astrology methodology by building a software that allows me to make predictions. And I will do that, with your permission on your show tonight.
Uh-huh. I've got a pencil and paper ready to go.
That's kind of cool.
Okay. So you pretty much do astrology to all of a lot of movie stars. I mean, to the stars,
Yes, correct.
right? Can you name some of
Oh,
them?
yes, I can, yes. Gary Busey, that's why he's still alive, I guess. Another one, I can name another one.
Sure.
He appears on television all the time. I can't remember his name now, but he's a black dude, very smart, and he works for an insurance company. He's constantly on the air. His name is not. It's escaping me just now.
Oh, it's a low boy.
Oh, okay. Dennis Iceberg. Dennis Iceberg. Yes, he's a very famous actor.
I think I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I did
Right
a
on.
reading for him. Yes.
Okay, right on.
And other people that I have to keep quiet, of course.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, I know you have. You've been at it for a long, long time.
Right. So all right. Well, let's talk about. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I mean, we can talk for hours. We have an hour on with you. Okay. So
Right.
let's start with recently you made some predictions.
Right.
Right. And they came true. As a matter of fact, the FBI showed up at your house. Why don't you tell us about that?
Correct.
Why don't you tell us
Twice.
about that? Twice. Why don't you tell us about that?
Twice.
Well, basically, they wanted to make sure that I was not a sleeping cell. I mean, when you give, exact date of January 7th, not only on their private website, but also the French National Police, they kind of wonder how I know that there's terrorism on the way. So I told them to keep an eye on the next date for the next terrorist attack or for larger earthquakes, because this is what I do. So I had to explain to them how my software works. I had to show them all my paperwork, my residency, if I was a legal alien. And each time I was moving from one room to the other one, they were kind of insecure, because I could have come back with a gun and shoot them.
Right.
So I asked them to follow me in the office, and this is where I kind of educate them a little bit on my methodology. And then they realized I was not a psychic. Sad enough, people assume I'm a psychic or Mrs. Cleo. They do not even investigate the values of my work. Most of them do not know I use a software. And they started from there. After that, everything went kind of smooth, and the trust between them and I was established.
Okay. Now you are you are a police officer, or are you retired now, or?
No, I am not a police officer.
Okay.
I help a lot of police officers.
Okay.
In fact, I have a website dedicated for them. especially those who have a problem with tunnel vision for firing their gun. Some of them undergo some very dramatic experience, so I use hypnotherapy on them. I help them to, because it's tough to be a cop.
Right.
And that's basically what I do with the police, but I'm not a cop.
Okay. Because
Actually, let me correct that. I am a cosmic cop.
Okay. Because I noticed the badge hanging around your, your neck, and you also have a license to carry a concealed weapon, and that's why, from my understanding, the FBI was really freaking out because you had all that when they walked into your house, right? Right.
Well, they also saw my gun.
Right.
But they asked me if it was loaded. I said, yes, it is loaded, but it's also in a safe position. And when they asked me about my badges, I said, my wife and I, we travel all over the country, and I have a hammer, and that thing sucks a lot of gas. And we stop in the middle of the night, anywhere, everywhere. So when you carry this badge around your neck, it's kind of it's kind of telling all the criminals to stay away from us.
Oh, okay.
So it's psychology. It works.
Okay, it works. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. So, you were on a radio show about a month ago, or a month and a half, 2 months ago, and you predicted. No. Two
radio shows. Excuse me.
Gotcha. Two, and you predicted. And basically, you laid out the January the 7th. And for all those who don't know what the January the 7th was the parachute, and it just happened at that magazine. Now, when you say you predicted it using numbers, how did you do that? I mean, was it saying that there was going to be a very bad thing happening? I mean, can it determine if it's an earthquake, a shooting, a school shooting, a business shooting? So how did you figure out that it was going to be a business shooting? Did you know exactly whereabout it was going to happen, or?
Let me correct you. First of all, I do not predict anything.
Okay.
I give a specific timing for that has been proven accurate over the years, because I'm doing this since 1991. I'm 65 years old, so I had time to realize my work is real and solid. What I do, I use Nostradamus quatrain, which are very obvious, and even more obvious keywords by mentioning terrorism, police, death, famous death, suicide, drama. These are just to represent one single energy that usually manifests during specific days. And I think I'm going to give you the first date, which will be February 10, 11, and 12. This is when this type of energy will be coming back. So now it's on your show. And on February the 10th, 11, and the 12th, you can be sure that the police will make the news. And it's not every day that you have the FBI firing people, that you have the CIA making the news, that you have a chief of police that's killing his wife. This is not happening every day.
Right.
It's happening during this very specific plutonic cosmic window. And I just gave it to you. And I'm going to give you, with your permission again,
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you two more.
Okay.
Because people don't have a short memory, put it this way. So I'm going to give you the date of January the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, and then I'm going to go back to February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Now, during those dates, we're going to have what you call a uranic window. This means a sudden release of energy will be coming from those stars that are much more than dead rock, hanging over there for the sake of beauty. And this will create an earthquake. The possibility, of course, of tsunami is always a possibility. And remember, the earthquake dates that I just gave you are always for quake above 6.0, because earthquakes happen every day. Okay. In fact, I sent a certified mail to USGS, and I can prove that, obviously. I gave them date for earthquake above 7.0, and they never, ever have returned my mail. And I can show you that anytime.
What earthquake was the 7.0? Which one was that?
Oh gosh, I would have to. When you realize I have predicted every single major earthquake above 6.0, including both Asia tsunami
Okay.
and Hurricane Katrina on my friend George Norrie's show. I mean, you asked me a question, and I would have to retrace all those. But it's all well documented, it's dated,
Okay.
it's printed, it's published in my book and on radio and on television.
Awesome. Okay, now the February the 10th, 11th, and 12th. I know the police are going to be involved in this one. Is this going to be? You think is it going to be like a shooting, or is it going to be another terrorist attack?
Yes, yes. During those days, you will always have crazy people that kill crazy people. And again, we have to do the back from the future type of thing here. I have been on so many radios, insane, giving those dates. But when comes the date, people either forget. That's why I'm on the internet constantly, serving the pathetic mind of atheists, spam, to remind them of what was said.
Right.
The beauty about this last show is that I gave all the explanation, the same type of explanation I'm giving into your show, and thanks for that, to two other radio, that if you take the time to sit down and actually listen to those shows, you'll notice, those dates and windows are very obvious.
Okay. Now, January the 20th, excuse me, the 20th, the 21st, and 22nd.
Yes.
What were those going to be, those dates again?
And add February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. This is a sudden release of energy. This is where you can expect shocking news.
Okay.
The same type of shocking news the world had when Princess Diana was, literally exploded in Paris, in a town in Paris. The same type of extraordinary, shocking news that took place when the shuttle exploded. The same type of energy that I gave on Discovery Channel in reference to the biggest solar storm that ever took place. So you're talking about a sudden release of energy that will produce shocking news. And this type of energy always steer earthquake above 6.0.
Okay.
It also crash planes. It also brings the possibility of tsunami. So I can only be objective. I'm no God.
Right.
Understand that.
Right.
I'm doing my best. And I did myself much better than all geologists combined together, without being an egocentric.
Right.
And I have the proof to present to you if you're a skeptic. That's all.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Was it Mrs. Reagan? She was into this very much so, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah. Well, she was into modern astrology. I have nothing to do with modern astrology.
Okay.
And that is the problem. And this is where I understand the faith, because modern astrology is just financially oriented and start and finish on your horoscope newspaper.
Got it. Okay. So the 20th and 21st and 22nd is going to be something major. Great. I'm staying home that day.
No. You don't have to. No. Because this is what people don't understand. Earthquake happens every day. People die every day,
Yeah.
which I understand too. But these are universal cosmic biorhythm. Now you have your personal cosmic biorhythm, and that is, you could go under a 7.0 earthquake like millions of people did and still escape. You ain't
Right.
going to be at the wrong time at the wrong place, because you are under your personal cosmic biorhythm, and they happen to be positive. But if you have an amount of negative energy, for example, the moon is waning, Mercury is retrograde, which affects transportation and communication, the same type of energy that brought the Titanic down, that brought the Italian ship down, there is no accident. There are only cosmic, let's say, coincidence.
Right.
Cosmic circumstance is the right word. That science and humanity has not yet been able to investigate or appreciate.
On the September 11th, the Twin Towers. Did you pretty much knew that something major was going to happen on that day then?
No. I give all the details.
Yeah.
And then again, it's on my website. I finish by saying, be ready to explore the sudden release of energy that will force the government to make drastic and dramatic news and dramatic action. Excuse me. The same type of window that produced the Paris terrorist attack was exactly the same than the one that I saw for the 9/11. And 9/11 was predicted a full year before. And again, I have it printed in my book, and it's all dated, not only on radio, but also in my books.
Right.
But if you do not investigate, if you don't pass skepticism, well, chances are you ain't going to be realizing that the cosmic code is very real. It's very solid. You have a physical world where you have to respect the law. You have to stop at a red light, stop at the stop sign, and that's where you have cops to make sure you respect the laws. But because you do not see or don't touch doesn't mean the other set of laws, which are spiritual from the cosmic code, does not work. Well, what cannot be seen or touched doesn't mean doesn't exist. And this is why I said earlier, I'm a cosmic cop. I'm the first cosmic cop.
Right. Now, you're a very spiritual person, aren't you?
I'm extraordinarily irrational.
Okay.
I am just a different scientist. I don't believe in Elvis coming back. I don't believe in Jesus coming back. And that's where people are confused, especially the atheists, because they do not understand that I'm actually working in the same way. But this doesn't mean the atheists or religious people are stupid. They are not aware of the cosmic God's jurisdiction. They're not aware of a God they know nothing about. All they have been trained to believe and fear is God. If you don't do that, you're going to go to hell. Well, the God I promote, we're not going to send anybody to hell. You're already on hell anyway, in stupidity and ignorance and your own fears. But if you take a chance on me and investigate my work, you will soon join the 8,000 people who already signed up into the Cosmic Code.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now
I know you do. You have other things too, like products, like rocks. But only I'm probably saying it all wrong. But you do healings and stuff like that, don't you? Like I was reading, it was a long time ago, but you can do like healings with minerals. I'm pretty sure.
Did you hear him, Dr. Turi?
He's very, very low. Is there any way you could repeat?
Yeah, go repeat him. Let's talk.
I was reading somewhere, and it was a while ago, but only you do like healings and stuff too with minerals and different things like that. And I like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, your subconscious, which is an area of the human experience that is not really fully understood. If you feed evil with negativity, you're going to alter the atomic structure of yourself with your own thought, because the future is nothing else than a reincarnation of the thought. You're going to build your future, or you're going to destroy yourself. So this is full show on the superconscious in time and space. But if you are lacking energy, for example, let me give you this example. When I was at the Royal School of Music in England, learning how to play piano, I had this friend of mine who was very upset because I was picking up all the pretty girls, and he was wondering how the hell I did. I told him that the reason why I did that is because I have the head of the dragon in my fifth house, which is a seat of attraction between human being and the girls like Dr. Turi. But that means nothing to him. So I said to him, I'm going to do something which is called a talisman, and I'm going to get the energy that are missing in your fifth house, and I'm going to add it. And I look at his chart. He was born in May. May is ruled and controlled by Venus. Venus, or the sign of Taurus, is controlled by copper, the copper color. This is why ladies will go on the sun to get the beautiful tan, so to speak. So I carved a talisman, waiting for the perfect auspices when Venus was rising, and I gave it to him. So in other words, he was able to cheat by becoming magnetic to ladies that would never give him the time of the day. But again, these are just my words against yours. Unless you give it a shot and you try it for yourself, you have the right to either be quiet, be silent, or investigate my work.
Right.
And that's what the problem with people. They assume immediately that I am, again, Mrs. Cleo, that I'm coming from God knows where, not realizing I'm more logical and more practical and more scientifically oriented than they could ever be. On top of that, the people that have signed up my newsletters are often referred as gullible moron. I mean, you're talking about, oh my gosh, I cannot say names. I'm dying to tell you the names of the people that are into this list, but trust me, they are very, very famous. Not only FBI agents, not only doctors and MDs and who is who in America, not only governors, not only city mayor, but very, very educated scientists. In fact, you have to be above owning above normal intelligence to deal with my work. It's not for the morons.
Right on.
Right on. Now you asked for my birth date,
Correct.
and I gave it to you.
Well, you gave it to my wife.
Oh, okay.
And sad enough.
What?
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I did not have time to
That's
check
okay.
on your
Okay.
shot, but just give it to me. I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay. October the 8th, 1966.
October the 8th.
1966.
Okay, let me double check. I need to configure my own self here. Okay, all I can tell
said
you
you're
is that
doomed. You're
you
doomed,
were born
man.
an FBI agent. You're a walking library.
Oh, man.
That's what I can tell you. I can tell you that your mother didn't have to tell you to pick up a book. In fact, you are a natural, eternal student. That's the way you are. But you're far from being stupid. You investigate every single thing. That's part of your deal. You're a gift in the real estate. You like to eat and you like to cook. What else? You might have some neck problems.
He likes
But
pizza.
you also have fears. Maybe I see fears that are coming from your past life. Your past life are directly related to religion. You were in the Middle East, you were in Spain, Portugal, you were very religious, and you had a lot of past life as a female. This doesn't take anything away from your masculinity in this present incarnation. But the fear of water, the fear of religious poisoning, God knows what, this is what you have to beat. And that's coming from, again, your early past life. Your very, very, very powerful past life were directly related to the Mayan, to the Incas, and to the Sumerian. That's why you had something with the Indians. That's basically all I can tell you for now, because I don't have your chart in front of me.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, that 3/4 of that was right on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
The
I
other
mean, that was-
quarter is
Everyone's-
because
we
the other
have-
quarter is because you're not talking to me. I don't have your chart in front of me.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly.
as I said, you are able to analyze yourself because the year you were born with, let's say, a Scorpio dragon's tail. So be careful with the police. You're not exactly lucky with the police, even though that you may be very attracted to the police. In fact, you have the same chart than a guy that I know here in Phoenix, Mike Broomhead. He's on the radio. Of course, this guy is very religious. He would never endorse my work, but I caught him many, many times, and he's totally, completely, and entirely for the police in Phoenix. He doesn't know that I can help the police so much more than what he does. Now, each time I see a cop being killed, and I know a family is going to be destroyed, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to pray for these people, but prayer ain't going to do nothing. Okay, I can do so much more for the police. The idea is to use my software and put it in the trooper car and mix it with the electronics. What happens is not all calls are deadly. The world is not made of all these criminals. There is law-abiding people like you and me and all your listeners. Okay, and the beauty of having that software in the car of a police officer is that he will know if he is going to take a chance with that person. He will know that person before he even talk to that person, and he will know if he's going to come back easy as a normal call or if his life will be in jeopardy or if he even will get killed. That is very powerful information that I have. But regardless, even though that I have a captain of police as a close friend in New York, okay, even though that I have a lot of cops that I've been working with, it seems the elites of the police are still blind. But knowing what's happening and with people like you helping me to give me a voice, it looks like the FBI are going to realize that I do have something for them.
Yeah,
Especially in not in preventing, but at least anticipating terrorist activity.
Now, that was my next question, because I was reading where you said that the FBI officers wanted the software, right?
Well, basically, no, they didn't want it. They didn't know about it. But I suggested them. I said, you should have this. And I explained the reason why. Of course, they stayed only an hour with me in my office. So even though that they gather a lot of information, they could never build cosmic consciousness. In order to build cosmic consciousness, you have to be with me 7 hours per day for at least a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I teach.
Right.
But
Well, police departments now, law enforcement, FBI, CIA, they all use psychics. They all use the paranormal sometimes to go on cases for hints. How come they don't bring you in? Why don't?
That's the $1 billion question, my friend. Because I'm not a psychic, maybe.
Well, obviously they showed up at your place because because you know something and they want information on it. Well, guys, why don't you bring them in and use them?
That's scary because that tells you the people that serve and protect us do not behave as real detectives. That's scary for us. I am probably more of a cop inside, or even yourself with your charts, than some of these young FBI agents who are nerds, who are part of the city generation, who are turning the world into a taste dance. And that is terrible. You cannot. I deny the God. I deny the God that was induced to people, in their early upbringing and the hell stories and all this stuff. I deny all that, but it doesn't mean that I deny the cosmic God. God can only speak through the sign. One of the reasons why, of course, the first word of the Bible refers to 3 wise men following the stars. These 3 wise men were nothing else than the cosmic conscious extraterrestrial that was there to train Jesus, because I do believe in the story of Jesus. It has references to it, to actually help humanity to uncover our Father in the heavens, but not as it is. And since the get-go, Jesus' ministry has been totally disarrayed. It's been manipulated and give birth to the religious matrix or the Vatican. There's nothing there. Apart from that, the Vatican is overloaded with astrological relics, and all the popes of the past were taught astrology by the Vatican Council.
Right. UFOlogy. You are into that as well, because what you speak to is about. We believe on this show that we're not alone. I believe we're not alone. As simple as that. I believe there are other dimensions. I believe there are symbols that they are trying to give us, like crop circles, and symbols all over the place. It's just that we're not there to see them. Now, you use a lot of symbols. Explain your UFOlogy when it comes to your what you do.
Well, Jeffrey, first, I'm past believing. I don't believe in astrology. It's not a religion. I don't believe in UFOs. I dealt with them. That's the only difference between me and someone else. I'm not talking about a light somewhere. I'm not talking about a walking experience somewhere. I'm talking about a flying saucer 30 feet above my head. I'm talking about me talking to these guys. So I'm well past that.
Okay.
And the legacy they left me, which is now becoming a curse, is very obvious. But again, it's so unbelievably stupid to believe we are the only one in the universe.
Absolutely.
In reference to the moon, for example, Neil deGrasse, which I call Neil Disgrace, by the way, talking about the moon. He doesn't know nothing about the moon. He says the moon has been bombarded and loaded with craters. Guess what? Guess what? We are next door. How come we have just one here in the middle of the desert in Arizona where I live? We have a crater. No, the moon comes from the belt surrounding Jupiter. When the extraterrestrial build up our solar system very precisely, they use their own nukes, put it this way, for the lack of words, and remove the moon from Jupiter and brought it to this solar system to make it working with the rest of the celestial family. But Neil deGrasse Cosmos does not talk about the soul of the cosmos. And what does it do when you go to one of his lectures? It's wonderful. It's marvelous to teach science to the children. But what do you take at home? You're taking home more wonder about the cosmos than if you listen to my work and you understand God's cosmic divinity, then you have something to be prepared. Because God created the stars and the heavens to be as a sign so that you may lead a safer, more productive life.
How long ago did you have that that I don't want to say abduction, but that close encounter?
Well, I started when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
That's when it started. It was pretty scary stuff to see these things in the middle of the night. But even though that I passed out in fright, every morning I woke up and I knew it was going to be okay. That lasted for years, and anybody around my house, everybody around our house heard my screams in the middle of the night. And even the doctor said, "Louis, it's crazy. We need to." During those days, we didn't have Ritalin or Prozac. They used electrical shock in the head. And my mom said, "Are you crazy? I ain't going to have my son going through this." Then the visitations ceased. But I have four solid UFO experience. The second one, if I may continue,
Sure.
with your permission,
Yeah,
I can.
absolutely.
Well, the second one happened November the 11th, 1981. And another one happened in August 11, 1991. But the timing is perfect. The one that happened with my brother in the south of France is the first one that really shocked me to the core of my bones, put it this way. My brother, during those days, used to own a discotheque, and we used to live in a little farm away from the city, and we had to drive a few miles to the vineyard to go to the main highway that would take him to the discotheque. We slept during the day, and we woke up at night. This is basically what it is. So every single night, around 10 o'clock, we left the farm, we drove to the vineyard, and this is when it happened. I saw some lights coming from the right, and I asked my brother, "Hey, Joe, is people working there?" He says, "Louis, it's November. Grapes have been picked up." See, my brother is a Scorpio. So he's really tough. He's a kind of mafioso guy, and so he doesn't talk too much. So I kind of be quiet, and I waited. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I saw an incredible light. The entire area was, loaded with light. So I get out of the car, and my brother was holding me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I need to go. What the hell is that?" He said, Stay here. So I managed to get away. So much for the big guy. Anyway, I went outside, and I started to bang the front of the car. He had a brand new Mercedes. That Mercedes died right there. Okay, I banged the car. I was screaming every French bad words I knew, asking him to get out and to look. He says, "What do you see?" I said, "Well, light." "You didn't see nothing. Light." And then all of a sudden, the light turned off. And it took me a while for my eyes to adapt to the environment. And then all I had was kind of a yellow, goldish, reddish ray on top of me, a beam. Okay? And above me, I could hear the humming noise. And then all of a sudden, I could see under the flying saucer. I could see the circumferences 30 feet above my head. And then it stayed there for a while. Of course, my brother never came out. He has his nose against the windshield, but he never came out. And then the thing turned the light on again and just took off right above the roof of a farm, maybe 10 feet above the farm. And I came back the next day. I looked everywhere. There is power lines everywhere. And then my brother says to me, "Louis, this did not happen." It took this sucker 25 years before he decided finally to tell the entire family and his children that I was not crazy, that we actually saw a flying saucer on November 11, 1981, in leaving the farm. So that was my week, a shock. That did not yet connect with those guys. The next one I connected. Can I keep talking?
Yes, absolutely. Go. Keep on going.
Is that when you got the download to do what you do now?
Thank you, Jeffrey. So the second one happened upon one of my return from England. I was celebrating the Distinction Cup of Music that I received. They told me that I would never, ever play piano because I touched a piano the first time I was 26 years old. They said, "You have to start when you're a kid." So I wanted to prove my teacher wrong. And instead of spending, like 5 minutes like you're a kid, I spend 6 or 7 hours every single day spending my time, practicing piano instead of smoking pot and messing up with the girls. And next thing 2 years later, I end up with a Distinction Cup. And again, I have all to prove. I have all to prove it to you. So I was back home, very proud, showing my diploma and my cup and everything else. My first deal with Philips Recording Company as a recording artist, I was doing really well. I was very happy. And then As soon as I arrived home, I remember it was a Sunday. My sister Noelle was not there, so I asked my mom. I said, "Where's Noelle?" And she said, "Well, she's gone." I was kind of upset. And then 2 minutes later, she was back. And she was crying and she was upset. And then my mom said, "What happened?" She said, "I missed the bus. They're going to fire me if I'm not at work tomorrow." So my mom says, "Okay, not to worry. Louis is going to take my car and he's going to drive it there." The only problem is I was, 26, 27. During those days, we had no cell phone. We had no GPS. And I never read a map in my life. Well, cut the story short, it's 4:30 in the morning. I stopped in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, and that was kind of surprising because, it's not like America where you have McDonald's open 24 hours a day. I was to this day, I still wonder how come this place was open. Anyway, I wake my sister up, and I said, I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna stop and get a cup of coffee and ask people where we are. I walk in this bar. The first thing I told my sister is to sit on the by the door. I said, "You stay there," okay? And she asked me for a Coca-Cola. It was freezing cold. I don't understand that. Women. Anyway, I went to the bar, and then I saw 3 guys. I mean, those guys were so big. In my mind, I thought they were loggers, guys cutting trees, because it was so huge. In fact, my nose was at the belt of these guys. I said, "Tell me how big they were." And I said, "Jesus Christ, I hope they have good intention." And they were like looking right ahead of them, like in nowhere, no land, no zone. They were just looking motionless. Anyway, I asked for a cup of coffee and the Coca-Cola. I brought the Coca to my sister, went back to the bar, and this guy looked at me and he says, "Do you want to play cards?" I look at him, I said, "No, man, I'm too tired. I don't want to play cards." He says, "Well, you're going to be friends with cards." They did not make sense. Then didn't make no sense because even to this date, I cannot play poker, but I play tarot, and each hand is a winner. Each hand brings me money. So he was right, but I didn't know. And he goes, "Okay, look at the card." As soon as I look at the card, just as soon as my eyes were in the card, he's telling me exactly what it was. He did this 2 or 3 times, and then I decided to challenge him. I said, "Whoa, what the hell is going on here? Let's change the 9 of diamond to the queen of spade." And I see when he looked at me, and he says, "Louis, you are not going to change the 9 of diamond for the queen of spade." And at that precise moment, I felt on my mother life, if I don't see my mom ever again, if I lie to you, I felt like a screwdriver going through one temple and going out of the other one. I was holding to the bar, and I was about to pass out. And about 10 feet away, the bathroom door was open. I managed to reach the bathroom door, put some cold water on my face, and talking to this guy. I was talking to this guy in my head. "The hell are you? What the F are you doing to me?" I was going totally insane. I said, "I'm small, but I don't care your size. You guys going to tell me what the hell's happening here?" And I walk right back. I mean, it doesn't take long to put some fresh water in my face. I must have stayed no more than, say, 5 seconds. I was so upset. Walk back, they're gone. I asked the barman, "Where are they?" They said, "They just left." So I said, "Who are they?" And they said, "But they must have come with you. Did you see a car when you came in?" I said, "No, there's no car. It was just mine. It's my parking just by the door right here." Now walk my sister up. I said, "Let's get the hell out of here." And we took off. I never even paid. I didn't remember if I paid the guy. I just left. The next thing I remember, Jeffrey, it's 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. What the hell have I been all night? And my sister doesn't recall anything. Doesn't recall me taking her. I'm driving back home in my little village. It's 9 o'clock the next day, and I had the worst headache that lasts for about 2 or 3 weeks that I would never wish on my worst enemy. I'm not making this up, Jeffrey. This is real. No. So when people say UFOs are not real, they got a hell of a lot to learn because they're going to make sure we do not destroy ourselves when it's time. The fourth one.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get into the fourth one?
Yeah. Go for it. Fourth one.
The fourth one is the ultimate. I had 2 or 3 more after that with my wife, Tarania, but not as powerful as this one. This one was August 11, 1991, and that's the one that changed my life completely, literally. My ex-wife was a very attractive lady, and she was a she wanted to be doing some modeling, so she signed up for a beauty pageant in Disneyland. And we said, okay, well, we're going to go. So we're going to, you need to go to bed early so you can have your beauty sleep and you're going to win and, let's do it. All right. It's now 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning. My ex-wife is screaming. She's in a fetal position on the floor. She's screaming. I think I'm going to call 911 because I never seen that girl after 10 years of marriage going so crazy. What's going on with her? She said, I don't know. She made me look under the bed. She made me look in every cupboard in the house. She made me look everywhere. And then she couldn't sleep for the rest of the night, and neither can I, because she was crying and trembling. Okay, the next day, I said, there's no point of going to your beauty pageant because you look like hell. And then she goes, well, you know what? Let's go and see Grandma. I don't want to stay in this house. So anyway, we took off. And then as we were driving, she said, well, I still want to go to this pageant. At least I want to look at it, even if I cannot participate. So we drove, and I was very careful to bring back the episodes that she had the night before. Obviously, she had a premonition, very real, at least in her dream. And I asked her why she behaved this way. And then she turned the radio on louder, like she didn't want to answer me. Then I turned the radio off. And before she could answer me, it was weird. I felt like if I was driving into a cloud, and I didn't feel the wheel in the car on the road. So the next thing I recall, and I'm going to tell you what happened in between. I'm driving at 35 miles per hour in the middle of Highway 5, okay, on those little bumps. My wife's screaming, what the hell are you doing? Pick up your speed. What are you doing? I said, I don't know. And then I look around me, and I did not recognize anything. I say, honey, where are we? She says, I don't know. So I took the first exit. The first exit was, I can't remember now. It's so long ago. But it was a zoo exit after Los Angeles. So I exit there, and I never forget, I saw a white Toyota truck, and I saw 3 Mexicans having their sandwich in the back of the truck. So I went there, I said, excuse me, could you please tell me where I am? And they told me, you are the Los Angeles exit. Okay. I said, do you know, what time is it? I said, yeah. They look at their watch, it's exactly 9 o'clock. Now listen to this, Jeffrey. If I drive a Ferrari, if there is no traffic between San Diego and LA, and if there is no cops to stop me, maybe I can do that in 1 hour. So I went back into the car, and I said to my ex-wife, do you remember when I married you? I told you about those UFO things. She said, yeah, you and your UFO. Next time we go through LA, you don't see it. Just tell me, but I'm telling you, you went through LA, you didn't see it. It took us nearly, I don't know, an hour and a half, just 2 hours to go back to where we're supposed to have been in the first place. Then my wife was so disturbed, she called a friend, and she literally took off to Phoenix and divorced me. And then what happened is, because I was so crazy about that, I wanted to find out what the hell happened to me. I contacted somebody that was in the UFO field. I never been into the UFO field before. This guy came along, and I still have the tape. I still have today the original tape. My wife and I answering this guy, okay? And he says, look, I'm going to get you to the top regressive hypnotherapist doctors in Los Angeles. And we went to Victorville, 2 of them, and they had a different TV set around me to make sure I was under. They put me under, and as I was talking, all of a sudden, you could see on me, started to sweat. What happened is, this is what happened. We were sucked inside the belly of a flying saucer. You don't have to be in the middle of the desert, trust me. They could do that anywhere, even in the middle of LA. Okay? Now, when we arrived in the flying saucer, the guys that I have seen when I was taking my sister, those guys were there, tall, blonde, the Nordics, whatever. And they opened the door, and I said to my wife, look, been there, done that, okay? Don't worry, everything will be fine. It's like if I agreed on something. I didn't know yet what it was. So I walk into a room, okay, and then I get inside and I look outside and I see the earth the size of a football. I tell you how far I was. God things that didn't drop me west, but that's what I can recall. I was pretty far high, and then it was like a decontamination room, and this is why I start to complain when I was under of being very hot. You see me starting to sweat big time, and then another door flies in, and I walk inside of the flying saucer, and I see the Greys, the dignified robots, the workers, and I saw more of the Greys, more of these guys, kind of mentally, tentatively talking, communicating with everybody, and I could hear everything, like noise, but no movement of the lips, which explained what happened with these three guys when I was in the bar, lost in the south of France in the mountains. And I brought my sister back, trying to bring my sister back, and I never did. Then what happened, and I walk around and I could see my wife. It's like on a screen. She was laying down on a glass table, and they were taking the fetus. She was taking the baby that she had. And it's like I was not upset. It's like I'd agreed to do that. And this makes sense now, but it didn't make sense later, and I'll tell you why. What is the purpose, the agenda of the ETs? Then I knew it was time for me to go to a place that I had been before. It's another room, and the ceiling there is something that comes down. It's like a helmet. It goes right down to my nose, and I cannot see anything, but I just feel. It's like I'm becoming a mixture of electricity, wind, steel, glass. I can't explain. I'm imploding, and this is where I was downloaded the cosmic codes, the understanding of all the planets and how they impart humanity at the psychical level, something, of course, science has to learn. Because I'm well ahead of time with that. That's why they all laugh at me, but they shouldn't. So the next thing I know, I am on the road, back on the highway, driving at 35 miles per hour. That is incredible. But, it's a personal experience. So you got to understand the people are skeptical. And the magnet will not attract a piece of wood. Some of these people have a UCI, which stands for Unique Celestial Identity, which is so rational. That turned them into, atheists, engineers, politicians, mathematicians. And then you have people like me who have a very advanced UCI, and we are not astronomers, we are astrologers. We are not mathematicians. We are spirituals. So the yin and yang, the positive, the negative, the physical world, the spiritual world, and all the parallel worlds. It's a reality, a reality that is constantly brought down because science and religion are overloading the scale of stupidity. And I'm trying to bring the balance in understanding God's cosmic divinity. You don't have to fear God. You don't have to believe God doesn't do anything for you. You can use God. You can use the planning and the stars to better your life, or to make prediction, or to use it for anything. It's a science. It is not a religion again, and you got to study it.
Wow. Yeah. What do I even begin? Okay. So are they still assisting you in what you're doing? I mean, when was the last time? Was that the last time you ever had anything?
No. The last time we had something is my wife and I, we go to our local shop, the hammer drive itself, literally. This is what we're doing. We're taking the same exact road every single day. And that day, and my wife is a witness of me, we were on different roads. We did everything, and all of a sudden, after the stoplight, we were on a very different road in a very different part of town. And I said to her, what the hell again? What the hell? And this is where I reminded my wife. I said, you remember, Annie, what I said to my first wife? You're with me. And my UCI, my unique celestial identity, vibrates at such a high speed that a magnet will attract a piece of wood. I'm bound to attract this type of experience, and you are an Aquarius dragon's tail, you vibrate at my speed. That's why, you're with me. You're my soulmate. You're my wife, my beautiful wife. That's why you're going to go through these things. And that's why I don't want her to get pregnant. No. She's not going to get pregnant because we're not going to keep that baby.
Right.
What if they impregnate her?
That's a different situation because there's other things that I cannot say on the air tonight.
Right.
Maybe I could tell you in private or let my wife tell you. But let me tell you the agenda of the extraterrestrial. First of all, every single star that you see above your head, every single sun has a solar system. It is a solar system that supports life, every single one of them, but not life as your five limited human sense can perceive. In a creative, eternal life energy, the only limitation is your imagination, put it this way. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're going to build a business, let's say a chicken business, you're not going to take the weakest chicken you're going to find and hope to have the best eggs. You're going to pick the best one. And extraterrestrials are not exactly interested by your earthly position or accomplishment. They're not necessarily going to knock at the door of President Obama or the scientist Helix or Mr. Neil Disgrace. No, they are not. They're going to go to the people that have gifts, people that have a UCI, that the universe itself in the mathematical chaos has created. And that would be myself. Or there is no school that can produce Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Beethoven, Mozart. You can teach your children as much as you want to dance and sing like Michael Jackson. You've got to have the UCI, the unique celestial identity. That's why there is a big difference between education and intelligence. Now, this spiritual values is so precious to the extraterrestrial because all they're going to do is to bring the genes, the spiritual gene, because your body is going to stay here on earth, on hell, in fears and ignorance. But the essence of the spirit, which is immortal, that's what they're looking for. The passion, the feelings, the intuition, the values, the age of your soul. That is what they're looking for. And with this, they're going to repopulate or replenish other universes that are being constantly, endlessly, forever being built. Now, try to explain this to Neil deGrasse, knowing that he was born with Saturn, the most constrictive, rational, down-to-earth, logical planet right in his third house, which regulates his critical thinking. I'm talking astro, mumbo, jumbo. He could never, ever realize because he's the first one to negate and ridicule something he's not allowed to learn during the course of this present reincarnation. Do that make sense?
Yes.
He's actually not the only one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them out there that want to do that. You know what I mean? Like squelch.
Yeah. Is that why there's, I think people are starting to wake up. Our third eye is starting to open up. I think people are now being bored with gifts that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you didn't see this.
No. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let me tell you how it works.
Okay.
The First and Second World War, there is a planet called Pluto. Of course, it's been drafted to a nothing because of the moronic educated astronomers who know nothing, no cosmic consciousness whatsoever. But Pluto, from 1930-something to 1945, Pluto, the planet of death and drama, the lord of the underworld, the planet to regulate the police and the criminal element, sex and death, the planet of supreme power, the smallest, the tiniest, the farthest, most powerful planet, Pluto, was in charge of the world. And this is why this planet, when it moved into the sign of Cancer, July 4, 1776, America is a Cancer country. When Pluto moved in Cancer, Cancer was also food and home and family and real estate. Millions of people have lost their family. Food was scarce everywhere. Family were destroyed. And America lost a lot of its children. Then came Pluto moves. The celestial mechanics are not stagnant. They move endlessly. Then Pluto, from the sign of Cancer, home, family, security, and real estate, food, and secure, etc. This Pluto moved into Leo. Now, Leo, or the baby boom generation, Leo rules love, children. Leo rules France and Italy. That's why we say French are romantic and Italians are romantic. It even affects our language. Leo rules the art. So when Pluto moved into Leo, it was like an order from the cosmic God to replenish the earth. And then comes the baby boom generation. Now, right now, the generation which is becoming in power, I call them the OCD generation. You can Google it, OCD generation, and add my name. Or if you want to know about gays and put Dr. Turi behind it, I've worked since 1991. I've got thousands of articles on the internet. This is the purpose left for the children of the future, of course. But the OCD generation is born with Pluto into the sign of Virgo. And that means the people that are health fanatic, the people that swallow all these pills, the people that want chicken to have eggs in the natural environment, not being constricted in a little box. That's why now in California, that's where this generation is very strong. You're paying 3 times the price of eggs. Ridiculous. This generation is born atheist, and this generation is raising into the atheist movement. And none of these kids is aware how subconsciously they are molded to death by their own stars. And no one is there to educate them but Neil deGrasse. For God's sake, this does not help humanity psychical welfare. And this is why God thanks I have people like you. And another great guy that's going to have me on the show tomorrow night. And those beautiful ladies that I worked in the past, including George Norrie, that gave me the voices that I need so I can start to bring the balance between the physical and spiritual phenomenon.
Did you have a question? I think Emerald or No? Okay. Wow. Our show here, Doctor, that is the whole purpose. We talk about everything here. We talk a lot about religion, but we feel, we're not. There's no way we are the only ones out there in the universe. There's absolutely no way. I believe, and my wife, and we talk about this a lot, that the children are being born now, that at a younger age, and sometimes now to right around teenagers, they can see things that other people can't. They have gifts now, and we see that everywhere. I believe our government is putting stuff in our foods and our water to block out our gifts. The third eye, for example, fluoride, Monsanto, all that. The government does not want us to wake up, Doctor. I can only agree with you, but one thing you have to remember, Jeffrey, without cosmic consciousness, all you are left with is religion, is science, and conspiracy. No, doesn't mean conspiracy is not real, because there's a big conspiracy against me right now, stopping me getting to a national level on radio or television. I cannot tell you what's going on here, but the scientific matrix, the religious matrix, are doing all they can because it's all about money. I mean, right.
What good? Just think for a second. Just think of Mars. First of all, humans are not designed to live on other planets, not in this physical form anyway. It's like asking a fish to get out of his watery world and live in our world, in a scaphandre. It's impossible. It's ridiculous. Now, first of all, the scientists, they're not stupid. They know that is impossible, absolutely impossible, physically, to get to Mars, because the distance are absolutely incredibly phenomenal, and there is no enough. Even with the Earth was totally burned out to get the fuel needed to get there. But these are the people who have worked during in 1945 for the government, the scientists that developed the nukes, the development of armament. And these people have families, they have children, and these people have had children, they have had children. And these people have to pay taxes, they have to pay insurance, they have to pay for education. And it's a matrix. So the more they promote Neil deGrasse, and the more they spend money on science, they find a way to constantly survive and waste our money. They don't care to lie to you. No, there is a big conspiracy. It's pretty much the same with religion. Okay, I told you earlier, Jeffrey, all the popes of the past were taught astrology by the Vatican Council. I have the proof. I have the photos. You can also Google Dead Sea Scroll, Dr. Turi, and read and see the pictures of the Pope being taught astrology. But what I'm trying to say is there is millions and billions of dollars involved into the religious matrix. It's their life source. And you are going to stop that? You know, sometimes I wonder, my wife is saying to me that I wonder how we're still alive. We haven't been killed yet. To expose such incredible truth and expose the Illuminati and the conspiracy. But you got to be aware that the location of a planet called Saturn in your chart, if you have it, for example, in your second house of money, you're going to nurture an endless insecurity complex, and you'll become a prepper. If you have it, for example, in the mind, where you'll become an astronomer and a rational scientist. If you have it in Scorpio, then you're going to follow David Icke. You're going to go for, you're going to nurture a fear of power. You're going to nurture a fear of the government. So you've got to be careful of where Saturn is located. And if you have it in Pisces, when you're going to have too much imagination, and fears are going to overload your spirit. Unless you raise your cosmic consciousness, you would never be able to auto-analyze yourself correctly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right on. Okay.
Is there a way that we could, I could go to your website and take my birth numbers and
Well, what I can do for you and all your friends, because you're helping me, I invite you into the Cosmic Code for free.
Oh.
Okay. All you have to do is to email me or Taranya, and then when we see your name, we'll comp you in, okay? It's normally $100 a year, but it's free for you guys. And guess what? You can read every single month your personal horoscope unquoted, okay, because I use the software. You're going to read all sorts of material that is not for the public, that I cannot divulge. You're going to be personally being guided day after day. You're going to be made aware of the SOS windows, because I've been offering my work free to the public since forever, but I finally realized that it's not good to waste my time and my energy, because the people, most of the people are not ready or unwilling to expand their own spiritual values. So I might as well just write for my VIP and go fishing. At 65, I'm tired.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, give everybody. Okay, Emerald, our producer, has a question.
I do have a question. Have you found any commonalities between what it is that you do between people who could see stuff that normal people can't?
You have to be born, as I said earlier. You have to be born with the UCI, and if you're not born with the UCI and you're a Virgo, for example, these are my best students. Chances are, or you have a scorpionic chart, you're a white witch, you're a born metaphysician like me, then you're going to have gifts. And then with the right teacher, I can coach you to build your cosmic consciousness. So anybody can do what I do, provided they are being taught by the right people who have the gift.
Right. Gotcha.
Does that answer you?
A little bit. My thing is I'm able to see things like, spirits and stuff. So where would that lie?
Well, you have to make sure you're not being mishandled and misdirected by the superconscious. Now, to realize, to give you more, I need to have your date of birth.
Okay.
If you give me your date of birth, I can give you a little shot.
It's June 17th of 92.
So, June when?
17th, 1-7.
Oh, okay. 1992. Oh gosh, you're so young. Oh my gosh, you're a baby. All right. Well, let me look at you.
And she's
First
been
of all,
seeing it since it's a baby.
Like Art Bell, like George Norrie, like my friend here in Phoenix. You are a Gemini. You are a Gemini. You're a messenger of the God, and that means that's why you're on the radio. Okay. You were born. The year you were born is represented by the tail of the dragon in Cancer, which is absolutely incredibly spiritual, and depict a lot of your past life during in the moon temple during the Mayan time. That's where you came from. So, but you have a little conflict in your chart. You have the very, very spiritual little white witch medicine woman in you, okay, and then you have the scientist. And then it has a little bit of a conflict as I perceive it. But your hidden dragon is Scorpio, so your chart is set where you can raise your cosmic consciousness. But I got a couple questions. Are you afraid of flying or not?
No.
You fly a lot?
Every so often.
All right. So but you have no fears.
No.
Good. All right. On the medical aspect of my work, I can see some problem on your stomach. So don't eat when you're upset, and careful your joints, because wet and cold is not good for you. I see that you're going to have quite a long life, but your real progress will be towards the midlife. That's why you attract older guys when you're young and much younger when you're going to get older. So you got a long way to go. Your dragon's head, from the year you were born, let me see, is right on your 8th house of metaphysics, so you're definitely a white witch. I mean, if you don't like the word witch, in French, it's a compliment when you call somebody a white witch. Then use the term medicine woman. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm fine with witch.
Do you like classical music?
Yeah, violin a lot.
You see the power, the real power? I don't know you. And nobody called me before, and I point out things that only you knows. And that gives you some grounding to the values of what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
Your Pluto is in Scorpio, so you definitely regenerate with metaphysics. You need that food. You need that spiritual food. So I'd be more than happy to invite you into the Cosmic Code so you can digest all this good stuff, okay?
Awesome. Okay,
Perfect.
we'll I'll say Alan and Emerald and myself I'm already in it, so now we just got to get Alan and Emerald in it. So, all right, Dr. Terry, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. Give them all the information for you.
Well, basically, they can get to me by Google Dr. Turi. I'm pretty much over the place. And anything they want to know, just formulate your question and write Dr. Turi behind it on Google, and I will pop up. And by the way, I want to give an opportunity to your entire audience here. For 24 hours only, I'm offering the Cosmic Code for half a price to your listener.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that's
jump on it, guys.
So what's that? 30-something, or is it?
I think the Cosmic Code is $100 per year.
So 50. Okay.
So you get it for 50 for 24 hours only, because we want to take off this weekend. We don't want to be answering the phone or
absolutely
working hard.
Right on. Okay. Well, hey, I think that's an hour. Perfect timing, Doctor. I appreciate you coming on tonight. We're gonna look at these dates very carefully, and I want to say I hope they come true, but I don't want them to come true only because because it's bad if something happens.
Yeah, but you cannot make me responsible for your money.
No,
not at all. But I understand. Okay, Doctor.
I know they will come true. That's the only problem.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I want to thank you guys for having me on your show, and things that have people like you to give me a voice. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Thank you very much, for Doctor. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you white witch.
That's something I could I'm not even lying to you. I didn't want to say it when he wasn't on the air, but I actually Googled stuff because I have been having stomach problems, just recently within the last week.
Really?
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh! But I get it.
And everybody, the whole classical music thing. Who are you going to go see in concert next weekend?
Well, I was going to go see Lindsey Sterling,
right.
but I can't anymore.
Okay.
But
now, for those who don't know Lindsey Sterling, then she's a violinist. I'm pretty sure you know who she is, but very classically trained.
Yeah.
And
The other thing he said the spirituality versus the scientist. You guys see that in me like
Oh,
every
heck,
day.
are you kidding
so,
me?
I mean, that was like I want to
That is like the
join
biggest
this
conflict every
right
day, right
after right after we're done with the show.
Right.
You're gonna help me get on this thing too,
Okay.
because I would love to sit there and study what he studies. Like everything he was talking about made perfect sense to me.
Right.
Like
Well,
right off the bat.
I researched him a while. It's been a while. I said 3 years, but I'm thinking it's more like maybe 7 or 8.
Okay.
And in his house, when he was trying to figure out this
I'm in my phone.
code thing, he actually had his walls painted with all the star charts and everything so that he could figure it all out. I mean, he's an interesting guy, really.
No,
interesting.
everybody knows who he is, who's in the stuff that we're into. Obviously, there's a lot of people in Hollywood who go to him for answers, and they pay the buck to see this guy. So this guy is somebody who, if you're into what he does, then Google him and study him.
And get his thing for half price.
Get
for
stuff
a
for
year.
half price.
Heck
That's
yeah.
$50, guy. That's not
It's
bad.
January right now, so for a full year, you get it for 50% off.
Absolutely. So, okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to have Heidi Hollis after that, and then we are going to have some Bigfoot stuff and some gargoyle stuff.
Yay!
Monsters, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to be really short. Alan's going to go take care of a couple things, and I'm going to stay right here, so you'll be able to see my silhouette, but I'm going to go ahead and put Possessed Tranquility on for you guys, and we will be right back in about 3 to 4 minutes.
I'm going to put a coat on.
It's a little cold out there, so what happened to my music here? So, okay, we'll be back. Thanks. Well, I guess I'm trying to look for my music here, and somehow my apps went cuckoo on me. So, Alan, go ahead and take off, and I'm going to continue talking while I find what I'm supposed to be finding. So, yeah, again, at about 7 o'clock, after Heidi stuff, we're going to have, his name is Jim Williams. We had a Bigfoot. Actually, Danny brought in this Bigfoot picture. That it was a Bigfoot hiding behind a tree. And nobody knew where it came from. Everybody was making fun of this person because, no one knew where this picture came from. Well, last year when we talked about this photograph, because Danny brought it up, somebody was listening to our past archives, and they called Jim and said, hey, these guys are talking about your picture. And Jimmy goes, oh, great. What are they talking about? And he goes, no, they are actually not saying anything bad about it. They are pretty much, trying to figure out, what it is, and not actually, throwing your picture out the door. And he said, really? And he says, yeah. So he can't wait to come on, because again, we're not making fun of people because of what they take or what they see as far as photographs or pictures or whatever. So I'm hoping that's going to continue. So I can't wait for that. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a little break, like I said, and we're going to listen to Possessed Tranquility as soon as until we get back. So, and how come it's not playing? Really? Yeah, really. Well, did I unmute you? You know what? Let's not put on music.
Let's just talk. Let's chat.
Now you
Oh no.
Yeah, you go to Fresno State.
Yes, sir.
Where's that hum coming from?
It's probably his microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell us about your professor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just started school. I started the semester up this week actually.
Right.
And one of my professors, I'm not going to name his name because I don't know if he wants to be mentioned yet, but he's a doctor. He also has his law degree.
Okay.
He's a research. That's what he does. And we were talking about active shooters. Now, let me get my notes because this is important.
Right. No problem. She was freaking out. She texted me the other day, and she was, oh my God. And
I texted you right after the class got out.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my other class. So we're going on about active shooters.
Right.
Now, defining an active shooter, it doesn't have to deal with how many people they kill. So it may or may not be a mass murderer. It has nothing to do with how many they kill. The only specification is they have to go into a public confined place. So what does that sound like? Public place, confined building. The Charlie Hebdo, right?
Okay.
And he was talking about that. He was like, You know, and it can't be a robbery, domestic violence, or anything gang related. It's just an act.
Okay.
And
So like a school.
exactly, he brought up
like a theater.
yes, anything like that would be an active shooting.
Okay.
Now, some statistics: 38%, only 38% of active shooter, actually uses a firearm. So, and that was done studies overseas. I believe he was saying he'll have to tell you if we could get him on. So 38% is a low number. All the active shootings we've had, or the ones that have been on mass media, like newspapers and everything, those all have had firearms.
Okay.
Okay. So that could be a jab, like Second Amendment. I know we're going through that whole issue right now.
Exactly. Right.
And he was saying, he told the class, he was like, Google the Charlie Hebdo attack and the scene where the guy is shooting the officer, and he asked, tell me if you see any blood. And I already knew the answer because we were talking about
this, right?
So I was
Absolutely.
like, no, there was no blood. So then he jumps to Sandy Hook.
Before you even go there, for all those who saw the video where the two gunmen come out of the car, the police officer has already been shot. Hearsay, we think he's on the sidewalk. He turns around. The gun guy, or the guy with the gun, or the AR-15, walks right by him and shoots his head. Supposedly, I see a puff of dust hit the cement about 2 feet in back of him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even shoot it. Now, for all those who don't know what an AR-15 or the bullet size, it's a good sized bullet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, they have showed pictures of somebody shooting a weapon of this magnitude into a watermelon per se, and the watermelon explodes. They can shoot it into a tree, maybe 2 feet, a foot and a half, wide tree, and it'll go right through the tree.
This isn't your 22. No.
No.
This will make some damage.
Yes. So what you're trying to say, and what your teacher was saying, is that after he shot the guy in the head,
there should have been some blood.
There should have been
like a mini explosion.
There should have been what do you call the brain? But yeah, there should have been.
Yeah.
Like a water balloon exploding with blood. Boom.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
There was nothing, guys. So what was he saying?
He was basically saying, like, look what the media is showing you.
Right.
And actually, he says, in our words, he was like, do your research.
Yeah.
He's like, everything is open. And then he goes into the Sandy Hook, and he's asked, okay, can anybody tell me the conspiracy with the Sandy Hook shooting and the Pakistan shooting? My hand shot up so fast, I was like, oh, thank you, Jeff. I feel smart. There was a boy who was supposedly killed in Sandy Hook, whose picture was also in the Pakistan killing.
Now, what did he say when you saw that? Said that?
He was like, where did you hear that? How did you find that out? And I was like, well, my boss, I'm part of a radio show. He's like, okay, so you're informed. He's like, we're going to have a lot to talk about. So, yeah. So, well, I sit in the front row. I'm a nerd, so I don't care. And he was just talking about it. He was like, look up active shootings with terrorists, because those are the only ones. The last 4 have been so-called quote-unquote terrorist attacks. Now, you don't have to be a terrorist to be an active shooter. This just could be anybody going with a confined space, killing people. And then he goes, he said, like, the amount of money government puts into active shootings is staggering. Compare that to the number of money they put into robberies, domestic violence, gang-related burglaries, homicides, stuff like that. We have more of those. Just take Chicago, for example. We have more normal, that's not the right word to use, but we have more regular, that's not the right word either, killings or day-to-day type deaths that happen than this active shooting, than these quote-unquote terrorist attacks.
Right.
So that's what he was saying. He's like, look what the government's showing you compared to what they're not showing you.
Right.
And then
for example, the gun violence in Chicago is just over. Blacks are killing blacks every day on the street, but yet the media is not showing you that.
Yeah.
They're showing you, the lesser, I believe, but more popular the shootings, and I totally agree. I mean, he
said, because the last 4, the Ottawa, if I'm saying that right, in Canada, that shooting, the Pakistan, Australia in that cafe, and then the Charlie Hebdo attacks, and he told us they're getting worldwide attention. He's like, why? And he asked us that. He's like, come back next class and let's talk about this. And then
you were going, I can talk about it right now.
I was like, yeah, can we do this right now? But he goes, +1 is an active shooting death. So the government will restrict rights based on active shootings rather than national deaths from gang, burglary, or homicides.
There you go.
And that stuck out because, okay, 4 events of active shootings
Right.
involving terrorism,
Which is
but they're
nothing.
going to restrict our rights based on just those 4 because those are getting the most media attention.
Yep.
And I even told him, I was like, what was he saying? Darn it. I should have wrote everything down, but I didn't. I was just with my pencil. Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
He was saying, he brought up firearms. He's like, well, what do you guys think about that? And you know what it was? He was saying, he was reading an article Sunday at breakfast, and the article said, maybe we should stop putting these active shootings on media.
Okay.
And I said, no, you can't do that because you're censorshiping. That's going to be a downhill slope. First, you're going to stop giving us that information. And the author of that article was just, he stated something in the article that said, like, let's try an experiment. You can't experiment with this because it's just like, you could stop telling the people about these events, but how do we know what's going on?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how do we know there was that happened? You could just tell us what we want and we're going to believe it.
Now, did he say anything about the parachuting being a false flag or anything like that at all?
He didn't really go into it. We were just focusing on, it was an intro class, so we went over the syllabus, the basic stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure, and I've heard from other students that he goes into these theories like the all class period, which is perfectly fine for me.
Okay. Now, what class is this that you're taking?
This is, I'd give it away. It's okay, I'm not going to give you the class number, but it's research methods.
Okay.
And that's what he does. He researches. Like, he gave us an assignment, the NYPD Active Shooter Compendium. That is, he puts that online for us, and that basically shows what was considered an active shooting, the case number, what weapon was used, how were they disposed of. That's not the right word either, but how the situation got settled, how many people were killed.
Okay.
And basically, he said, tell me what's wrong with it. So I was looking at it today at work. And these things, let me go to my notes here. So NYPD limits definition to include only cases that spill beyond an intended victim to others. So it's not, they don't count somebody going into a building, shooting their boss because the boss fired them. No, this would have to be them killing their boss and a few other people or injuring. But the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, most cases, defines it as most cases active shooters use firearms, and there is no pattern or method to their selection of victims. So, and then this whole compendium, it even said in there, damn it, I have it with me too. Hold on, let me pull those notes out.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
See, Emerald's getting into it, guys.
I love this class. Okay. Ooh, my highlighter's sticking out with these lights. Okay. So the compendium, and I quote, has a strong sample bias towards recent incidents, only because this is used, they use the internet. This compendium did not use special access government sources to compile these cases. It used an internet news sources identified using an online search. There's your red, I can't talk right now, I'm on a roll.
Red flag.
Red flag right there. If you're going to use online sources, you better damn well make sure they're right.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff on the internet isn't right.
No, you
it's
have
all
to.
biased.
Right.
So it even says in the analytic methodology of this, I can't even say it, that it's basically, to me it says it's full of crap. Because it's biased. And then, so it's biased towards attacks with higher dead and wounded counts because they do get greater media attention. So, and that's what they're going off of.
Wow.
So he's even like, yeah, just tell me, he's like, go, tell me what's wrong with it.
Okay. Well,
So-
that's gonna be easy for you.
I'm going to love this class.
Oh my God, you're gonna
So
go.
I'm
Bam,
gonna,
bam, bam, bam,
yeah,
bam.
I'm going to try to talk to him to see if he'll come on the show. Because I think
Absolutely.
having him, having a professor, a doctor, like I said, he has his doctorate and his law degree, having someone here tell us something like that, it's a big deal to me.
Absolutely, it's a big deal.
Because
it's credibility right there, man.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, we get people all the time, they're like, oh, you're full of shit.
Right.
Sorry, beat me out. But I don't care. So to have somebody like that who's been doing this for years come in and say this stuff.
And somebody like that, though, at a state, Fresno, at a college, I'm not trying to say that, I'm not going to tell you what I am, but mostly colleges and schools are very democratic, liberal.
Yeah, and he even stated he's funny. He was just like, he opens up the class with, I'm all for capitalism, but that's not what we are anymore. So for him to have these ideas, and he has the
and being a
research to
teacher.
back it up.
Right.
No, he's not just a teacher.
Well,
he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. Right.
And you got to give him that credit.
And,
I totally respect
it's
the
like
guy.
I'm tripping out that Fresno State actually hired him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's blowing me away.
Well, you know what? We have a lot of teachers that are like that. We have so many
but,
teachers.
Yeah, but a lot of them have to keep quiet. Like, for example, my wife.
Yeah.
At school.
Well, that's a younger crowd. I think with the college, it's more open.
Uh-huh.
They'll ask during the hiring process, I
Right.
assume.
Yeah,
or they'll
I'm
get
assuming.
it.
Yeah, right.
But, and he tells us, he's like, you're adults. You need to learn, and the government's not going to do this for you. He tells us the education system is crap because they're not teaching you how to think on your own.
Right.
And he's like, you need to think like adults and think for yourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's one of his main points.
And that's what we're doing here, you guys. This is why we're, we're trying to teach you guys how to research yourselves. The stuff you listen to and watch, what we have on the screens, is all it's all legit. It's real. All right. We're not making stuff up. Alan lately on the internet has been a lot of the Bigfooters researchers out there were always giving us crap because of some of the evidence that we're bringing out on Bigfoot, and they think that we have one picture and that is it. They have no idea what we have as far as arsenal stuff. Well,
another thing is too, like when we post stuff, we're not posting like BS, because if somebody tells us it's a hoax and here's our proof, we're like, you know what? Thank you for catching that.
Absolutely.
And okay.
And I give people credit.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy who's going to take all the credit. No, if somebody comes up, you know what, this is bogus what you have there, and they prove the proof, I'm going, thank you very much. There it is, and I'll delete it, or I will leave it, leaving what he posted.
Oh yeah. And
yeah.
and I don't see that with a lot of other things that do what we do, and it's just like, this is the only reason I kind of stuck around, because you guys know how I am. I play devil's advocate.
Yep.
If I see bullshit, sorry,
beep,
I'm gonna say it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
And to get that from our viewers and stuff like that is completely awesome to me, because they're gonna keep us in our place, and I like that.
Yes, absolutely. And that goes for reviews and comments that Alan gets about what we do here and try to make it better. You guys keep doing that. All right, send us on the form on the paranormalcentral.net. You guys are still giving us ideas. You're critiquing us. And you know what? We are taking that into high consideration. If there is a certain, something that you guys are not liking, and we get a lot of people who tell us you guys aren't liking this, guess what? We're going to get rid of it, and we're going to change it to make it where you guys are going to like it.
We've actually made like 2 changes just this week.
Yeah. Go get out.
Two changes this week from what we got on emails. In fact, I put in chat. It was something like 25,000.
Oh crap! It's already
emails.
7 o'clock. Oh.
How many emails? It was how many emails? Emerald, it was like 25,000, right?
Jeff had like 23,000 freaking emails he hasn't read.
Sorry,
it's getting where we almost can't read them all.
I can't.
But we do. I scan them and I try to find things that where we can
Jim
make
Williams,
our show
if you're
better.
listening, buddy, we're running behind schedule, so we're gonna call you as soon as we get off the phone with Heidi. Okay, we're gonna try to make it fast, buddy. So stay there. Don't go anyplace, Jim. Go ahead, Heidi. All right, we're gonna get Heidi on real quick, and hopefully we can go through this really quick. Boy, you know what? We're gonna need more than 3 hours.
Man, I have a hard time sitting here for a long time.
Heidi, are you there?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you?
How's it
Heidi.
going?
All is well.
All right. Let's get through this. We are again running behind schedule. Man, oh man, but we're having a great old time here.
Hey, that's all good. I love it.
Let me pull up your file, and I got Heidi picture number 1.
Yeah, we read your numbers. You're doing well. You know that?
All right.
Thanks for fitting to
You're gifted. You're gifted, and your dragon's in the right place. Yeah.
All right, we got picture number 1. Go, Heidi.
All right. Let me see what you got up there. Are you doing the video or the picture?
No, we can't do the videos.
Oh, you
Okay.
cannot
No.
do the video.
Well, and I'll tell you why afterwards. But let's go.
Okay, that's all good.
Let's just do the pictures.
Okay. Well, first, I want to let everybody know that they can feel free to write me at oddadvicehh@gmail.com if they have any questions or comments about their odd experiences.
Yay.
And I wanted to. Well, let me scroll on down here. Where's my? Okay. All right. This is pretty cool, and Alan, I know you'll really dig this because this lady, she sent in this picture to a website, and she said she was out taking pictures on her front porch of the sunrise in Ridgefield, Washington. When she pulled them back up on her digital camera, one looked like a spirit of someone who was looking into the side of her picture. As you can see by the picture numbers, they were taken in sequence. What do you think it is? Cheryl. Now, that's a beautiful sunrise, but take a look at the next one.
Oh, wow.
It might be the couple over.
Yeah, I don't. Now, the question is, does she have she's using a flash?
You know what? I don't know. She didn't mention. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
that looked like an angel just poked his head in and said, like, what do you call it? Photobombed it?
Yeah.
And it is a
don't know.
photo bomb, that's for sure.
I mean, it's really cool. And then, like, the next picture, it's back to, a normal. I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. That looks like a human shape, for sure.
It really does. It reminds me, actually, of reports people have stated in regard to light beings.
Right.
Alien light beings. So was it an alien? Was it an angel? I don't know. It looks, and if you look at the top of the head, I mean, there's almost like rays, like almost like a wing shape sweeping, from the top of his head.
Right. I see it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
I just thought that was a really neat
so
find.
that's picture number 1, number 2, and then number 3. There's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
so these are different photos, or is it a video? They're photos.
These are photos.
They're photos. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and she didn't indicate if she used a flash or anything like that.
Wow.
But I don't know. It just doesn't.
That
there it
looked
goes.
cool.
There.
Let me go back to number 2 again. Huh.
That's kind of like a vision I had, where
really,
I got shown someone and asked a question, and I thought nope, and they said you don't see what I see, and the next thing you know, there was like this really white light coming out of his chest, and it enveloped him, and then that's what I saw, a shape of a human that was pure bright white light, and said, I don't create anything that's not perfect.
Oh wow!
So,
I love that.
I mean, that's a quick, real synopsis, of what happened.
Wow.
Wow. Oddly enough, I don't know. Wait, were you finished? I did.
No, yeah. No.
Oh, okay. So oddly enough, I had like an out of body experience, and I saw my soul look similar to something like that. So it's like a light being of a sort. So it's pretty cool.
Right. Awesome.
But
okay.
So the next cool picture.
Okay.
This is
Got
this
it.
is awesome. Okay, this picture was taken at the Devil's Den in Gettysburg on April 3rd, 2005. There weren't any reenactors there at the time. This person made for certain that during their trip that there was somebody there. And they did not take any pictures of anyone dressed in Civil War era clothing because they were there on a ghost hunting trip. So the first photo is the full-size picture, and the second is a close-up of a soldier that is quite distinctive.
That's cool.
There. I
is
mean,
cool.
wow.
Now I'm going to go to that
I mean,
picture.
absolutely fascinating. I'm like, I hear of these, Civil War soldiers being spotted, and I just think it would be the most interesting thing, to see, as far as all ghosts, because they're usually, like, out in the daytime, so you're not like, expecting to find a house.
Now, they say that because what's underneath is creating this energy, the rocks, quartz maybe, is, and I noticed that, like, for example, this was near a very large rock. I don't know what type of rock that was, but that is very cool. That is very cool. I mean, a soldier, I'm looking at it, and
it matches. You could kind of see, unless I'm just seeing crap on your computer,
No.
buttons.
well, the hat itself to me looks like something a conductor of a train would wear.
Could be a captain or a corporal.
To me, it looks like a it's not a Union soldier. It's the other
Confederate?
Confederate.
Well, it is in Gettysburg that this was taken
Right.
now.
That's what it looks like. Confederate.
Yeah.
Wow, very
And it
cool.
looks- And the hair, it just totally comes off as a very, very young guy.
You could see he's got like a tool belt or a gun belt thing, and
Right there.
he's got a high collar on, like it's cold, and then
A glove, maybe.
Yeah, and then the hat is more like probably a lieutenant or something like that.
Right. High official.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool.
Whoever
That's
took
cool.
this picture, they had a really good eye, though, too, because, I mean, that is quite a
drummer boy.
distance that photo is. And then to
Could
be like,
be.
hey, who's that?
Right. That's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so neat stuff. But
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have time for a short email or not.
One
No?
email.
Yes?
Yes. One email. Absolutely.
Okay, let's do one email.
Go for it.
Okay. All right, this one says, Dear Heidi, a friend told me to message you. This is what is going on. I was heavy into ghost hunting. I went to a few cemeteries, Pig Lady Road, Shades of Death Road, Clinton Road, the Devil Tree, but the place I've been the most is this abandoned asylum that Ghost Adventures have gone to. I started hearing strange sounds knocking on my TV and computer. One time at the asylum, we were walking. We stopped. I started hearing growling. I looked where it was coming from. I looked right at it and heard it, but didn't see anything. After that, I saw the Hat Man. I started seeing shadow people. I heard 3 knocks and a bang. Things would be moving and somewhere else. I had sleep paralysis another time at a friend's house. My friend's mom did a cleansing, but that night I heard, tonight you will die. And my dog freaked out and jumped off my bed.
Oh, man.
I shouldn't laugh. But it's kind of funny to me sometimes. It's like, the dog's like, I'm out. They said I did salt in my room. I got a dream catcher over my bed. I got pics and videos in EVP, too. I bought a crystal and sage. I saged the house, but the crystal bubbled and it cracked.
Whoa.
Huh. I ended up with marks on my back and black and blues on my leg and marks on my ankles. I don't know if it's messing with my dog, but I think it was because he was sleeping in my room. My photo in, I don't know what GB, are Ghosts and Monsters. Pig Lady, WNJ, I don't know what that means. It's even messing with my cell phone. I was walking in the mall and talking to a friend. We both were on speaker. I heard again, tonight you die, and my cell phone disconnected. Ooh.
Wow.
I called back. It did the same thing with my cell, and same voice said, you won't make it to the mall. Ooh. Well, that's horrific. My aunt said she had the house blessed, but it still doesn't feel right. I haven't been sleeping at home because I'm too afraid to go to sleep because I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's
Wow.
horrible.
Can you imagine not knowing if you're going to wake up?
Oh,
I would have
that's sad.
followed the
You know what?
dog.
What?
Too many people go into these places and
Right.
they don't know that it's dangerous. You don't see me going into these haunted houses. I'm
Right.
like, hey,
Right.
I will tell you what to do after you've got issues, people.
and you know what? And that's what we don't do as well. You know, a lot of people say, "Wow, did you guys go and investigate in this building, or did you go and investigate?" We don't do that here, you guys. We go and assist people in trying to get rid of what they have, or if they
Right.
want us to figure out what's making the noise, then we will go set up cameras and try to debunk it. That is what our goal is here at Paranormal Central.
You know what though? If someone offered to do that, or they offered like their building or something,
Right.
I'd be down to go.
We just I didn't want to say anything, but we just got offered oh my god, the battleship on the South Bay, the one taps the. Oh my god, I just
You mean
completely
the carrier?
yeah
The carrier?
yeah.
Oh, man.
I know
what is it?
Oh my god, what's the Dexter just told me I forgot what it is, but we might take up
Queen Mary?
no.
No, it's a carrier.
Oh my god, I can't even think of it right now. I got so much things. Okay, never mind. Anyways, awesome. Okay, right on. All right, Heidi, thank you very much. We're so backed up for time.
And
It's not
we-
even
we're
Oh,
funny.
gonna-
good. No, hey, it's just it's fun just hearing you guys and getting a chance to share some of this cool, crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'll be listening tonight.
Oh,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes,
that's right.
yeah, it's gonna be fun tonight.
We'll be listening tonight. Oh, we're gonna call and hang up.
Awesome. Take care. All right. Bye bye.
Thank you, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
All right.
See ya. Okay. We're gonna go ahead
Hornet?
and call Jim. What?
The
Hornet?
It might be the Hornet.
Yes.
I think it is.
Thank you, Diane.
Yes. Jim Williams. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get this guy on, Mr. Let me open up. No, I don't have to do it yet. Okay, and Emerald is contacting Mr. Williams, and we're gonna get him on the phone and talk some Bigfoot. He had 2 encounters, guys. And we're going to let him talk about the first one, and then we'll go to the second one. So, here we go. All right. And we got him. Okay, go for it. Jim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How are you guys today?
Oh, we are doing extremely well.
Real
Thank
fine.
you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Really enjoying the show. This is the first time I've actually sat down and actually watched one of your shows live.
Awesome.
It's really interesting.
Right on. Thank you. Okay. Tell everybody how you heard about us first.
Okay. I was sitting here last week, and I've got a friend that lives over in Tennessee, and he called me, and he said, I'm getting ready to send you a link, and I want you to sit down and look at it, and tell me what you think. I'm sitting here going, okay. So he sends me the link, and it's, of course, to your radio show, and he said, your Bigfoot pictures are on there. And I kind of scroll through to about the 30-minute mark, and there I see them. And I told him, I said, great, somebody else is going to be starting to, make fun of my pictures or say that they're this and that. And he said, no, it's nothing like that. Just sit there and listen to them. So I sat there and listened to them, and I said, thank God, finally, somebody's not going to make fun of me and actually see what is in these pictures. You know, I have been ridiculed, raked through hot coals and everything else over this, to the point where I just quit sharing them with anybody. And I guess you guys did a radio show 2 years ago, and you used my pictures, and I wasn't even aware of them until he found them and told me about it.
Right. Okay, well, that's awesome. And that's exactly why we do this show, is because there are people like you who accidentally, by chance, happen to see something that, is it's not of this world. It's not supposed to be here. It doesn't exist. It's a monster.
And it's intriguing as
yes,
heck.
Yes, sir.
And it's called Bigfoot. So, all right, you had 2 sightings. I want you to talk about the first one really quick.
Okay, the first sighting, it was wintertime, of course. It was in December. And I drove a delivery truck 3 days a week up to southern Kansas, Coffeyville, Independence, and Katy, Kansas, for a fruit company here in Bartlesville. And, wintertime, it's deer rut season. And this highway, this country highway that I have to take, there's always a bunch of deer that get hit by cars. Well, I believe my son was out for Christmas break or something. Anyway, he was at home, and he asked if he could ride with me that day. And I said, sure. So I swung by the house, picked him up, and we got up north of Bartlesville to Highway 10. And I told him, I said, now, there's deer on this road. Just you watch your side of the truck, I'll watch my side, and if you see a deer, you let me know. And he said, okay. So it's about an 8-mile stretch from Highway 75 to the little town of Warren, Oklahoma. And we didn't see any deer. We went through Warren, and just as we came around the curve coming out of Warren, Oklahoma, on the north side of the road, there still is a winter wheat field there, and it's got a drainage ditch that goes across it. And I see this black figure standing there beside this drainage ditch, kind of bent over. And I slowed the truck down. This was, like 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm looking at it. I said it out loud. I go, what in the world is that? And my son turned and looked, and he goes, Dad, is that a Bigfoot? I'm like, holy crap. And we just sat there and looked at it, and it stood up, and it looked at us. And I'm like, oh, my God. And it had this stick in its hand, and it was picking something off of the stick, putting it in its mouth. But it never walked towards us. It never walked away from us. It just stood there and watched us. And this here went on for about 2 or 3 minutes. And then after the shock wore off, then I got to think, well, I've got my son with me. Once the thing comes at us, I'm in a 3-speed as if it's a refrigerator truck. It's not like I'm going to squall tires getting out of there. So anyway, I dropped it back in the gear and started off down the road. and this thing it turned its whole body at the waist to watch us drive off. It never turned its head. It just turned at the waist, which I thought was really odd. And we drove on and we discussed, what we had seen, and it just really piqued our interest. We weren't even thinking Bigfoot that morning. We were thinking deer.
Right.
And anyway, we just kept watching for deer and Bigfoot the rest of the route, which we never seen anything. And so the next time I went to Kansas was 2 days later. I took a digital camera with me, and I started watching for Bigfoot. And I did not see another Bigfoot on this trip, but 4 miles further east of where we seen the first one, I came up, well, there's actually a dip in the road, and it goes across the creek. I'm not going to really disclose where exactly it's at, because I don't want these people, have a bunch of people down here all over their land, but
right.
Anyway, I noticed these trees that had the bark ripped off of them from about the 12 to 14 foot level all the way down. And it just kind of looked like somebody peeled a banana. I was like, that is really odd. It wasn't a deer rub, because a deer, I've never seen a 14-foot deer before. And I could not figure out, why it caused that. So I stopped and took some pictures. And, anyway, I got home that night, and I got to doing some research in that area. Yes. The trees that you're showing, if you look back to the far left, yes, right there, you can. That was actually fresh done. And the tree where you got the highlighter, you can actually see where the bark is peeled down the tree.
Okay.
But
okay. So
anyway.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. What happened to picture number 1? We're going to go ahead and go through picture number 1, number 2, number 3. So okay, continue on with your story. Go for it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I took pictures of these trees, and I went home that night, got on the internet, and I got to doing some checking on Bigfoot in this area. Well, this just happens to be the same area that back in the I believe it was the mid-70s, there's a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Tosh. Him and his family was actually ran out of their home by a group of Bigfoots in this area. And there's been several Bigfoot reports come out of this area that date back all the way to 1896.
Wow.
And anyway, I'm trying to get behind myself.
No, you're right.
Anyway, I took pictures of this and did some research on the internet about the area. And I told my wife, I said, Sunday, I'm going to go down there with my camcorder and video this area better, where all the trees are stripped. So nobody knew I was going down there but her. And I got in the car and I drove down there. I guess this was about 9:30, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I went down there and I filmed the whole wooded area. And I did not see anything down there, but the trees. And I videoed for maybe 15 minutes. Got in the car and left. Came back home. And I never really went through the video because, I'm like, okay, it's just a bunch of trees. I really didn't, I just kind of blew it off.
Right.
And anyway, I had forgot all about the tape and the camcorder. And we were getting ready to get married, and we decided we was going to use the camcorder for the wedding. And we got the camcorder out, and sure enough, there was the video in the camcorder. So we played it back on a big screen TV, and this is what we found on the video.
Okay.
Which is, picture number 1. Picture 1, 2, and 3 these are actually still taken off of the video. And I have ran them through a photo enhancer to try to bring out the highlights in them.
Right. Okay, so right now what I'm showing you is, he sent me the video as well, and I saw the video, the small clip, but right now what we're showing you is the actual a snapshot of that video. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is I'm circling the object. Now you're probably going, okay, whatever. That looks like a stump. That looks like a log. But that is not what is there. Let me show you another photograph. Now it's circled so that way you can see it. Okay. Now, Jimmy, just to let you know, there is a delay on what you're looking at on the screen and what we are talking about right now. So there, I don't know, the delay is like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. So right now, what I have the picture up is the one you circled, the object. Okay. You circled it. That's what I'm showing you right now. And then, actually, what I'm showing everybody right now.
He looks like a pretty buff guy.
Big guy. Yeah. Big guy. Now, you know.
Well, if you look really close at this picture and just let the picture sink into you, you can actually see a fat roll on the back of its neck, where look like the fat roll is sitting on its shoulder. And then on the other side of the tree, you can actually see a slit that actually looks like a mouth.
Yes, I see that right there. That's exactly, I see that too.
And then if you actually follow from the mouth on up, you can see a sagittal crest.
That's a forehead. That's the
brow ridge.
Eyebrow ridge, right? Okay. See if you can see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring this over here like this.
Yeah, he almost looks like a gorilla.
Actually, on picture 3, it's actually more. You can get a better look at it on picture 3.
Yep, there it is, right there. Okay. I am going to zoom in on it a little bit more. I'm going to open it up for everybody to see it. Now, we had this picture. Danny found this picture. I think it was last year. I'm not sure. You said it was a couple of years ago. Could have been. I'm not sure exactly. But and there is. Now, if you're looking at this, everybody, what I'm going to do with the pointer right now, I'm going up. This is the actual tree itself right now. I'm going up and down right there. And then I'm going up and down right here is the tree it's trying to kneel down behind. Okay, now you went ahead and, okay, that's 3. I'm going to go ahead and hit number 4. There is the outline. That's exactly what I see as well. You didn't have to do this. Now, okay. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, because a lot of people who don't believe in this stuff, sometimes you have to outline it. The photograph
this is actually a photo negative off of the film.
Okay. And what we did with the David Ragos's photograph that we have, we outlined it because a lot of people still didn't get it, and so we outlined it. And then they went and they said, "Okay, why did you have to outline it? That means it's not there. You had to make it out of the trees and out of the that's not what we're trying to do here. It just so happens that people."
The thing is with these things, a lot of people will look at these pictures and they go, "I don't see it."
Right.
Well, that's exactly what the Bigfoot wants. They don't want to be seen.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And they're doing exactly what they want to do. They don't want to be seen.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
He's a big boy.
It's a very, very big boy.
and what I want to know is, if this was a gorilla, when was the last time a gorilla was seen running wild in northeast Oklahoma?
Exactly. Oklahoma is the state of Bigfoot. I can tell you that right now, Jim.
It is.
It is. So, and right now I have the negative up right now on the screen, and I can see it looks like a very large gorilla. That's what it looks like, Jim. But obviously, you know as well as I know, there are no very large gorillas in Oklahoma.
Not that I've seen in my 47 years.
And I see the slit of the mouth, and also I see the eyebrow ridge right up here as well. And I see a cone head right there, and it comes down, and I see a very, very fat upper arm, and it goes down. And there's the body way back over here, dude. And that's a very, very big guy. Very big guy.
And actually, if you look through the weeds right behind that arm, you can see a hip.
Right here. Okay. So, now let's go to, that was number 5. I am number 6 now. And this is the actual snapshot. You can see it right there. I'm actually zooming in on it for you guys. And there he is. He's actually kneeling down behind a tree, and he's sort of kind of looking straight, and he's frozen.
Yeah.
He is frozen.
He's actually looking to the left of the picture.
Oh, okay.
A profile.
Okay, gotcha.
See, now that's kind of like what they do. They'll, once they know you're looking at them, they either squat down and sit down, or they freeze behind something and just don't move at all, and then it's hard to see them.
Correct, and I think that is the reason I never seen this thing down there that morning. If I would have, I'd have been gone. and to this day, I will not go down in the woods anymore in northeast Oklahoma. I even gave up deer hunting.
See, that is exactly what happened to me. I seen one in '87, 10 feet tall. I watched him over an hour, and I was deer hunting, and I didn't go back for 6 years back in that area at all. And he was buff and fast, and I called him a forest ninja. Because he just could disappear like that,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
This one's intriguing, man. He's really buff. You could tell.
Okay. Now the next photograph I have up, Jim, is the one that you have two pictures together side by side. One showing the Bigfoot kneeling down, and another photograph is showing the same tree with it not, whatever it is, it's not there anymore. So what you did is you went back, correct?
Well, correct.
Okay.
The picture on the left was taken 2 years ago.
Okay. So you went back as a debunker should have done, and to see if what you saw was not a tree stump or a tree. You went back and took a photograph of the actual tree where this thing was kneeling behind. And guess what, you guys? It's no longer there. There's the tree right there. And this tree here is this one right here.
Yeah. You can actually still see the same bend in the tree and everything.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. What happened? Okay, there it is. Okay, let's go back there. And you had that one. Okay, I'm going to show you the actual tree.
That shows you like what kind of size he is right there. That's not a little tree.
What picture are you on?
I am now of the one by itself, the dark one with the tree that you took without the Bigfoot there.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and I'm showing that to everybody right now. So right now what I'm doing is I am circling with the pointer is where the Bigfoot would have been kneeling down, and that's this tree way back here. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
You're correct.
All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to now go to picture number 10, and that is, I guess, the actual picture of the tree from a... is that the same tree? Yeah, it is the same tree, isn't it?
Yeah, and then all the people that are listening on artbell.com, those pictures are up on his site in the Paranormal.
Yes, and they are on a different link than the Paranormal Central with Danny and Heidi's photographs.
Right.
This one was put there on a different link, and I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember what it's labeled, but it should be there. Okay, guys.
It'll say Paranormal Central, but it'll be
something Bigfoot or Jim Williams on it.
It has its very own little spot on Art Bell.
Okay.
So he's getting a lot of attention tonight. And
I
sure
really appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure you'll get, the hoax thing. We've been kind of dealing with that ourselves for a while now, but hey, it's just a bunch of keyboard people that really don't go out there and spend any time.
Right.
They just make a quick snap judgment. Everything's a hoax.
Right. I'm showing.
Well, that's like me. I wasn't even out looking for the thing.
Right. A lot of times that's how it happens.
Exactly. You were at the right place at the right time.
And if you notice in this picture of that tree on picture 10, I am sitting in the truck with the door open. I am not out of the truck. This is right beside a state highway.
Now that photograph right there, you took that photograph because of the tree without the bark?
Yes.
Gotcha.
See, even though you can't see
As
them.
a matter of fact, you can still see the scar on the tree to this day from where they've been peeled.
Wow.
See, and I'm with the pointer of the mouse, you guys. I am circling the trees that he's talking about.
See, we can't wait. We have a tree that's peeled 65 feet up that we're going to bring some pictures of.
Yes.
And we're hoping, we have game cameras aimed at it, and we're hoping when we retrieve the SD card that we're actually going to maybe have, him peeling or swinging or something.
Okay, the next photograph I have is, I guess, the nesting area, maybe?
Well, this here was part of a tree break, and you can see way back in the far background.
Oh.
Are you on picture 12?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah. As you can see in the far background, you can see more bark ripped off of a tree.
And that one's
there.
Way high.
And yes, and you can also see tree limbs laid over here.
Okay.
And which will lead up into the next picture, which actually kind of looks like something bedded down in this area.
Right. Right there. Okay, we're on 13. I'm going to go to 14. And now, look at this, guys. You got a track, buddy. Okay, explain the picture, the distance of the track, and where you were at when you took these photos.
Okay, whenever I took these pictures, from where the thing was squatted behind the tree to where this footprint was maybe 50 to 75 yards, and there's a little bridge that goes across Highway 10 in this area. And I was standing on the bridge just kind of looking down in there. I actually met two other guys that researched. One was from Ohio, and one was from Iowa. They drove all the way down here and met me. I took them out there to this area and showed them. And we actually got these pictures while we was down there in that area. And while they was down there, they actually made some calls and actually got response back.
Cool.
And Jeff, I think I sent you some video. You can actually hear in the video. There's actually some whoops in the background that you can actually overhear the diesel engine of the truck running.
Wow. We'll have to listen to that. I didn't get a chance. I actually watched the video, but I didn't hear anything only because my environment it was too noisy, and I didn't have any earplugs on. So the next photograph I have is the dirt trail with the one Bigfoot basically print that I'm circling right now with the arrow.
Okay, yeah, that's the same picture from zoom back up. I actually stood up on top of the bridge and took these pictures, and I would say it's maybe 12 to 15 feet down to the footprint itself from where I was standing. So this is actually down in a creek bed.
Gotcha. Creek beds, that's their highway, right?
Yes.
That is the Bigfoot's highways. We find to realize that they take the creek beds, dried up rivers and streams, and that's where they walk. And we think because depending on the actual depth of the river or canal or whatever, they can hide and walk at the same time, and you won't be able to see them because of the depth of where they're at.
Right. I have also found out by doing a little history research on this area, there actually used to be a railroad that went through this area. There's still a concrete bridge down there right by where this Bigfoot was squatting down.
Whoa. And
I'm starting to wonder if they may follow railroad tracks, even old ones.
I think you hit it on the head, Jim. We've done research and found out that, matter of fact, Danny Valdrama, our Squatch reporter, had a report where they actually saw Bigfoot actually hitchhiking on trains. Yep. And that's how they move from location to location. They actually jump in between the cars and sit right there where the couplers, couple the train cars. And even though they tend to travel down train tracks and high-powered lines as well, they use them as freeways.
Right. Right.
So you're absolutely right on that. And this is a good picture I'm showing right now. You can see the slit. I can see the slit of the mouth right there. There's the slit of the mouth. And up here is the eyebrow ridge. I mean, this guy is a big boy. Very big guy.
Oh yeah, his shoulders are massive.
Look at that. I mean, you can see the shoulder right there. And that, for those who don't believe in Bigfoot, you're not going to see what we're seeing. But, we are now, I'm not saying we're experts at this, but now we are now trained because of what we do to look for this type of stuff. And I see one hell of an upper arm. It's massive. And his head is cone-shaped. It is very much cone-shaped. Right there.
I agree.
Yep, I see it. Very cool.
Yeah, how tall do you think he was when he stood up?
Squatted
No, he didn't
down.
see him. He didn't see him.
Well, just by looking at the picture, it's kind of hard, to actually kind of figure out how much he would, or how tall he would be. So, me and my friend over in Tennessee, we was just talking a little bit ago, and we went back to the tree comparison where the two, and we looked at the size of the trees in both pictures, and we estimated that thing probably about 8 to 9 foot tall.
You need to go back, Jim, and dude, you need to go back there, and you need a needle
you come
right
down here, and I would take you down there. I would be happy.
Dude, just take a couple of guys with you with a couple of 30-aughts and 44s, and you will be fine.
Yeah, I'll be sitting in the truck waiting on you.
Come on, Jim. Do it it's science. Do it for science, Jim. For God's sake.
Oh, no.
Man, you know who he sounds like, don't you?
What?
Me.
No.
Really, Jim? You wouldn't go back there, Jim?
I will go down there. I will stand on the bridge. I will stand on the highway. I will sit in the truck. Now, I will not go down in them woods.
Come on.
No.
We'll take 5 or 10 people with you.
Yeah, and it takes one Sasquatch to take me out, too.
Yeah.
I'm not taking no chance.
Oh, God. You imagine if you went back there and you knelt down, right, just like this guy is kneeling down, and sent us a picture. Oh, my God. You would blow away people in the Bigfoot community because of the size of you and the size of this thing. I guarantee you would be the talk of the internet if you did that.
Yep.
And if you would come back alive.
Well, the problem is, it's all on private land, and I think the people who have this land actually know they're down there because they have got no trespassing signs everywhere.
They're probably like, you go on there at your own risk.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my God. I would. Somebody needs to go by. Anybody in Oklahoma? What? Okay, where? Oh, that's right. You won't tell anybody. Jim, come on, baby, come on. You can do it.
Actually,
Come on. You can do it. Come on.
You might be able to get some friends to do it.
Give a location. Okay, I will give a location because I am not going down there.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, God, how is there something there like a marker that the people in Oklahoma can go back to? I mean.
Okay. Yes. Okay. It is approximately 2 miles west of Oklahoma Union School. That is how close to an elementary and high school this thing was.
Whoa.
2 miles is nothing for them.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely not. Okay, 2 miles west of the school. What's the name of the school again?
Yes.
You know they love
Oklahoma
little
Union
kids.
School.
Oklahoma Union School.
And they love little kids.
And what's the name of the highway?
It is Highway 10, and the intersection with, I believe it's going to be road 413.
413. Okay. Well, we have people listening from all over the place, and I know we have people listening in Oklahoma.
Go. Kathy Strain.
And if they want to get a hold of me, I am retired now. I'll be more than happy to take you down there and show you exactly where the thing was.
Okay.
But don't expect me to go in the woods with you.
Maybe this summer we could go over there.
Wow.
This spring.
Okay. Right now, anybody listening who lives in Oklahoma who wants to go take a trip for us and be the reporter on the spot and go and kneel down behind this tree so we can get an actual dimension and comparison of this, the person, whoever it is, and whatever this was, that would be awesome.
We would have to get property owner permission before we could do it.
Well, how far is it from the street?
Maybe 50, 70 yards.
Okay. You know what? You could just jump over the fence real quick, run over there, take a snapshot, and run back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You'd be taking a butt shot out of yourself.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Well, these people in this area, they have been harassed so much since the 70s, since the Nazi monster incident up there. Even the Nowata County Sheriff's Office was involved in this. They had NBC, ABC, CBS News. They had news stations from overseas over in this area looking for this Bigfoot. I mean, it was a big-time thing at the time. If you Google Nazi Bigfoot or Kenneth Tosh, you can pull up all kinds of information on that Bigfoot.
Okay. Well, this is what we're going to do. Obviously, because we're in California, we can't be out there. So if anybody is listening right now who are Bigfoot investigators or who just want to go and do it for us, contact me directly. Either email me at sangerparanormal@aol.com, or there's a form on paranormalcentral.net website that you can fill out. Let me know, and I will put you in contact with Jim if you are serious about going down there and helping us out. If you can get down there, and
how far away is it from Tulsa?
Okay, Tulsa is 40. Let's see, it's right at about 48 miles south of me.
Sweet.
I'm right at 18 miles south of the Kansas state line.
Okay.
Well, it looks like
And where I shot this video is about 7 miles south of the Kansas state line.
Okay, because Alan has family
all around Tahlequah and Tulsa.
Tahlequah down in southeast Oklahoma. That's about 120 miles from here.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I have a bunch of them all around there, man. Tulsa and everything.
Okay,
but they'll make a road trip.
Okay,
they're all down there in the Coyamisi Mountains, down around Tahlequah.
Okay,
all
right.
There's Bigfoot over there too.
Okay, all right. Well, anybody who wants to get down there and who wants the information, who wants to get in contact with Jimmy, I'll put you in contact with Jimmy because we need to get the dimensions of this thing. So let's make it happen. All right, Jimmy. We're gonna see if we can make this happen, and if it happens, then obviously I'll contact you and put you in contact with the people who want to go down there, and hopefully maybe you can meet up with them or whatever, and hopefully we can do this.
That sounds awesome, and I really do appreciate you guys having me on your show tonight.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you
great,
coming
man.
out of the closet and giving us all these pictures, and because this is awesome stuff. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, I'm looking at a freaking big old. I see a face, dude. I see a cone head. I see, the muscles and I see the shoulders. I see this guy is big.
And I see exactly what would make me not want to go down there, just like him.
Well, what I see is something that would probably take me off the face of the earth.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Fast, big, and could take you out before hit you like a freight train.
So, all right, Jimmy. Hopefully we'll get somebody will hopefully write us, and hopefully I'll get back to you in a couple days. Okay.
Man.
Okay, sounds super.
Awesome, Jimmy. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
What was he calling the Bigfoot Nazi? That must mean it is mean.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was in the news and they were calling it a Nazi, man.
Wow. So okay, we'll have to practice with that.
Yep.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for coming on. I am not going to ask you your name or your occupation, but I guess you were listening to a show a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It was your January 4th show.
Okay. Go ahead and tell us why you're calling us tonight.
So I heard a story on that show that was very similar to an experience that I had, and it was the only time and the only place that I'd ever heard a story, as similar about a creature as similar. The caller happened to be calling from Dayton, Ohio, which I found interesting because that's very close to where I also had my experience. Anyway, where he seen this gargoyle creature that he spoke about, it was only about 10 or 15 miles from where I seen something just like it. Now his experience was about 20 years ago, he said, whereas mine was about 8 or 9 years ago. So I had a 10-year difference in when it actually happened. But we were out at my uncle's farm, which is just outside of town, and I was standing out in the driveway with my cousin, and we were having a conversation about a car. We were sitting there looking at a car. I was looking, facing him. I was facing north. He was facing south. And out of my peripheral vision, I caught a glimpse of something in the sky above me, and so it made me look up. Well, he still had his head kind of down in the car, and I couldn't get the words out of my mouth fast enough. Now, this creature that I've seen, it was 20 to 25 feet off the ground. It wasn't really high, so I could see it fairly clear. Well, what stood out more than anything was the wings. They were fairly translucent. The only thing, what really struck me was you could see the bone structure, through the skin. And the only thing I've really ever seen since then that I can compare it to is like maybe bat wings, or even something a little farther fetched, like the Mothman wings.
Like a dragon, maybe,
Yeah, exactly. Where the skin itself, the wings themselves are like translucent, but you can still see the structures of the bones. So anyway, I glanced up and I'm watching this thing fly, away from me, and it's getting ready to cross the tree line, just out of sight. My cousin looks up and sees my face, and I can only assume that I looked, fairly scared or fairly concerned, because he instantly looked at where my eyes were looking. Then he looked up behind him. It was like right at that point when this creature actually crossed the tree line, because again, he was flying fairly low, so it was just out of sight for him. But it took me a good 10 or 15 minutes to kind of, put myself back together in order to explain to him what I've seen. And, he told me, he was like, man, all the color left out of your face. He said, I knew you were looking at something scary, but long story short, this thing, its wingspan was between like 6 and 7 feet, but its body was in a shorter length than like what a human's body would be. So in that sense, it resembled a Mothman almost, if you will, but it really more resembled like a gargoyle. And it wasn't until I heard the caller's story where he described it to a T that I'd ever heard of anything like that before.
Did you see the face at all?
I did not see the face. It was more of the silhouette. It was coming into the evening time.
Okay.
So the sun was just about behind it. So I more or less seen the silhouette of the creature than I did really any of the facial features. But it was without a doubt, it wasn't a flying animal, that I've ever come across, that I've ever seen.
Right.
And it was certainly bigger than any bird that we have here.
Right.
But
wow.
And to make matters worse, this is late in the summer. As the next couple of weeks progressed, several people out at the farm had similar experiences. One individual in particular said he left out of the house, he pulled out of the driveway, and in his rearview mirror for the next half a mile, there was a silhouette of a creature following him as he was driving. And this creature, he said, it seemed to be like floating behind him. It scared him to death. He didn't come out to the house for a month after that.
I would neither.
And what other anybody else have an experience as well? Plus him, obviously, but
yeah, there's him. And then a couple weeks after I had the first sighting of it, we were leaving his house again. It was me and my cousin in the front seat, and then my cousin, another individual in the back, and something darted across the road in front of us just as we were leaving the house. And this was late at night, midnight, 1 o'clock. And the only thing that we could really make out was a silhouette of the creature and these red eyes. And it seemed like it went across the street so fast. I slammed on the brakes and I turned the headlights over in the direction that it went, and it looked like it went behind a tree. By the time I got the headlights over to it, it was gone. And myself and my cousin that was in the front seat, we both seen it go across the street. Again, we had to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting it. But at this point, it was almost like it was on foot.
Right.
It wasn't flying at all. Again, this, incidents like this happened for the rest of the summer all the way into the fall, and several people experienced it. But with the exception of the people that did experience it, none of us really talked much about it because it sounds so bizarre. And unfortunately, people don't necessarily accept these types of ideas. If they haven't seen it in a textbook, they just figure it's not real. But my cousin that I had the experience with, he actually heard it on you guys' show, and he told me, he was like, man, you have to, write these guys on Facebook and tell them what happened. He said, if you listen to this show, this guy describes what we had going on out of the farm down to a T. Wow. And what makes it even more bizarre is that, it's 15 miles from where he sighted it at, or from where he spotted it at.
Right. Wow.
That's not far with something flying.
No.
Yeah, not at all. And when I say 15 miles, it's 10 or 15 miles as a crow flies.
Right.
So, it's absolutely, it's a suburb north of town, whereas where your caller seen it was a suburb south of town.
Wow. Very cool stuff, man. Wow.
That is cool.
Have you gone back to the ranch lately?
Yeah, I mean, we basically grew up out there. We spent a lot of summers out there, and it's, there's been some odd things here and there that have taken place. One other incident that happened just as winter was coming into town. There's a cemetery right down the street. It's a real old cemetery. It's not used anymore. It's got the wrought iron fence all the way around it, and no one really goes back in there anymore. But we were driving through the area there and went by, and we seen a deer that seemed to be turned on its side. I don't know. It almost looked like it was kind of floating there. So we turned around to go back and see what it was, and there was a deer, an adult female deer that had been turned on its side and was impaled through the wrought iron fence. Which, living up here where we live, there's deer everywhere, and sometimes deer will jump a fence and not make it. But what made this situation unique was that the deer was actually on its side through the fence. And I mean, the rod was through his left side of his ribs and out his right side of his ribs. And I mean, I'm not sure how long he'd been there. It looked like a couple of days. Huh. But that's not something not something you see. We see a lot of deer out here.
It sounds like something picked it up and slammed it into.
Yeah, because I don't think it would weigh enough to impale itself all the way through.
Right. Yeah, and when you look, because we got out and looked at it, and this was during the day, so we had a good, a good chance to look at it. And the only way that it made sense to us that it could have got there is if it would have been picked up and put, put on its side forcefully.
Right.
But that was really the last incident, last substantial incident that happened out there. And I've been out there many, many times since then. And we haven't had anything else like that happen.
You're in Ohio?
That's correct.
Man, Ohio's like known for the Bigfoot too. Like, what's that? Is it Sawtooth or something like that?
I'm not familiar at all. So wow,
that's where they're having the Bigfoot.
Conference,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Salt Fork, I think it's called.
Wow.
Salt Fork. Yeah, we get a lot of attention here for that as well. So. And that that type of the Bigfoot type deal that seems more in line with the deer incident.
Right.
But as far as timing wise is concerned, to happen all within the same 3 or 4 month period as the other individual or the other creature that we've seen, it just seemed kind of ironic, and they seemed like the incidents were all hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been too.
Wow.
Really hand in hand.
Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on and talking about the story about your about what you saw. And this is, again, what we're trying to do is open people's minds. I tell people this stuff is not supposed to be real. Monsters are not supposed to be real. But, what the heck did you see? It's a monster in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm not in the business of just hearing about something and then just saying, oh yeah, that definitely sounds like it's true. I have to see it to believe it kind of guy.
Right.
And with that being said, that's probably another reason I really haven't told the story much, because I know someone told me the exact same story. I'd be like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Obviously it was this, obviously it was that.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I know what I've seen, and it was without a doubt something, beyond the reaches of our everyday knowledge.
Right.
Period. That's
Right.
just the way. That's just the way it is, and I'll stand by that as long as I live.
Okay. Well, all right. Hey, you know where we are now. If you guys witnessed, or if you have a family that witnessed again, in that area, that by all means let us know. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about it.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
Absolutely, you got it, sir.
All right. I appreciate it.
Man,
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much.
sir.
You take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
You know what's funny is, or really not funny, but history, like when you go to these old buildings, 1800s, 1700s, 1500s, what they describe is on the corners of and surrounding these castles and buildings.
Gargoyles.
Yeah.
So what was the first guest? His full name was
Dr. Turi. T-U-R-I. Louis Turi.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, that was really interesting.
So.
You know what's cool is I keep watching the lightning flash. We're having a storm over there. See? It just went off again.
Why did it go off?
You got me, because nobody's really pounding.
What? Did it scare you?
You scared me.
See, yeah, you guys have to understand, we're in the studio and it's pretty spooky in here because we got props everywhere. And let's just say we have lightning effects going on in the set where the TV show is filmed, and it's going off by itself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like you stomp on the floor.
Sound activated.
And then the light goes off, right?
Yeah, there's no sound and the lightning's going off.
Yeah.
Oh, before I forget, Patrick Contreras is going to be here this Saturday. He's an awesome violinist.
Okay.
He's at Fulton 55. Tickets are $12 before, $15 at the door. So I'm going because it's going to be awesome. So if anybody's in Fresno area, I suggest you go because it's going to be pretty cool. And he's not paying me to do this. I just love him so much.
Fulton 55 is cool too. I like to go upstairs and look down on him.
That place is haunted.
Yes, it is.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Look in the let's see, it's the southeast corner upstairs.
Yeah, southeast corner. So,
yeah.
All right, we got a couple minutes left. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, because I certainly did. Got 2 minutes left. So, what we do here, guys, is we do exactly what you heard. We try to bring in witnesses who have actually seen this stuff. All right, and we are letting them tell their story, because it's best that way. I can sit here and open up a book. I can go on the internet and I can read you story after story after story, but big freaking deal. You read that all the time on Facebook and on other websites and on blogs. No, our job here is to find you the people who have seen, who have heard this stuff, and we're going to bring them on here to tell you the story, because it is exactly that, very cool stuff, and this is just cool stuff, guys. I'm having a blast doing it.
Everything is awesome.
Well, it's fun to have like the famous guests,
right,
and the guys that are have books and stuff like that,
right.
But it's really cool when you have people come on that have pictures and
right.
they got it their own self in the woods,
right,
and then somebody to come in and tell us a story about a gargoyle, and then somebody hears about it, and then they call in and they're right there, and another gargoyle story, and you're not going to get that on TV or any other show.
No, you're not.
Really.
No, you're not. So
they plan them out way in advance. We don't plan it.
Absolutely.
We're horrible at planning.
Absolutely. So, all right, you guys, thank you very much for showing up. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host with Alan Thomas and Emerald Bonilla in here, providing you what we can is the best show on the internet today. Simple as that. I think it. I don't care what you think, but all right, keep your eyes to the skies. I hope you witness something that you can't explain, and we'll see you guys next week. You guys take care. Adios.
Bye.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas, broadcasting worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and on artbell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies, and we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
Looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky, you realize you're not alone. Open your eyes, you can find the trail that goes wrong.
I'll eat anything, even spam.
Spam.
Ew.
Hey, now there's nothing wrong with spam, mister.
No, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I like a spam too.
I don't care what kind of meat
What?
it is.
No? You don't like spam?
No way.
No? Emerald?
My mom used to make it all the time.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. I personally like it.
something.
Okay, so
The mystery meat.
so it's a mystery meat. Yeah, don't even tell me what's in it because I don't want to know. So, all right, Mr. Danny Valderrama, Mr. Squatch Report for January the 18th. You sent me some photographs, which I have in my possession. I am going to pull up your file right now. And all right, let's shoot for number one. You're on.
All right. Story number one. It's
You
from
notice
Bigfoot
Danny has
Evidence
a
page.
file.
Yeah.
Got a file
I told
for
you to get
Danny.
files, man. X-Files.
Yeah. X-Files might be coming back. We'll talk about that later if we have time.
Yeah.
She's sweet. Okay, go ahead.
So it's the Bigfoot Evidence page from Tuesday, January 6th.
Also, hold on, Danny. For all those who are watching or listening at the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com, these photographs are on the homepage right now, marked Paranormal Central. So go ahead and just click on it, and you can follow them as we are going through them right now with picture number one, so you guys will not miss out. Okay? All right, go for it, Danny.
All right. These are game camera pictures. There's two of them. One's the regular game picture from the camera, and the other one is enlarged picture. It was taken on December 20th of 2014, and the timestamp on it is 11:12 p.m. And what the first picture appears to show is a dark figure behind a bush. Now, someone reported that they could see eye shine on these. You could see the two eyeballs. But if a person was wearing all black and had one of those stockings on their face with the eyes cut out, it could just be the eyes. Their eyes and the skin reflecting when the camera flashes to take a picture. But I don't see the mouth cut out that's usually on there. So
Okay.
But if a person was walking around in pitch dark in the forest, they'd have to know where that camera is in order to hide behind a tree.
Right.
So
Yeah.
either it's something really there, or it's somebody hoaxing it or hiding behind a bush and trying to get the camera to go off while they're behind the bush.
True. Oh, I didn't think about
But-
that.
Or a scarecrow.
There was no name released, and no location. So are we saying it's fake? No, we're saying it's inconclusive because there's not enough evidence. There's no story or anything. It's just somebody sent these pictures into Bigfoot Evidence.
Okay. Well, hey,
So,
there you go.
not much to go on.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go to the number two photograph, which is it's a zoomed in version of the number one photograph. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. So that way you guys can all see that.
Oh, cool. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, so, obviously, it looks
Doesn't
like...
look too big.
Whatever it is, it's blending in with the tree, and that's not a very big tree. So, like it's underneath the tree and it's coming out of the branches. That's what it looks like to
I don't
me.
know, because that branch right underneath the eye, it's going through him. Like if you look towards out on the other side of the head, it looks like that branch is going through him.
Ooh, like a shadow being or something, right?
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we go to the forest.
Yeah.
Because that's where everything is at. All right, cool. All right, let's go to number 3. And we got, this is the Russian one, right?
Yep.
Go
This
for
is
it.
from the Mirror UK version, January 14th, 2015. And it says it's a group of Russian researchers went to the mountains, and they got a video. Now, the video is going to be posted on the Paranormal Central page. And it's also, Keith put a link to it on the Art Bell page underneath the picture, so you can watch it on there, too. And they claim to have captured the best footage of Bigfoot, or Yeti, as they call it, too. And it marched out of the woods before disappearing seconds later, and that's what the video shows. It's probably about 10 seconds or less, and it just comes out and goes back in.
Now,
But it looks like it stops. After it gets away from the camera, it just stops.
now, I saw the video a couple times, and it is the stride. It's like 1 foot in front of the other, not like a human being would walk left, right, left. You know what I'm saying? This guy is
And the leg lift is there, too.
okay.
But you'd need it to walk in the snow, too. So.
Right. So and his, it looks like the snow is past his knee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's pretty deep. So think about this, guys. Have you ever tried walking in the snow, foot first, and then put the other foot, I don't know, like I'm looking at what this picture is right now, 4 feet maybe, 3 feet, 4 feet in front, and then lifting your other foot out and putting it way over in front. That's what this thing is doing right here.
So he doesn't drag his foot in the snow like when we walk in it. We actually like we don't pull our feet all the way out. You know what I mean? Like you make like a railroad track looking thing.
Okay. And if you notice also that this guy, this thing, the snow is all the way up in the knee.
Right.
Now this guy was jamming through the snow, wasn't he, Danny?
Yeah, he was walking pretty fast.
He was walking pretty fast. How many of you have walked extremely fast in the snow with the snow all the way up in your knee? This guy was pulling his leg out. Boom.
For about 30 seconds.
You kind of, when you take a step, you kind of wait to see how far you sink down
Right.
before you take the next step.
No, this guy was jamming. So for those guys, for all those who haven't seen the video, go to Facebook, Paranormal Central page. Danny puts all of this stuff on that link. If you have not liked that page, do it now.
Plus,
all right.
It's on artbell.com right now.
The picture.
The video's on there too.
Yeah.
The video and the picture.
Oh, the video too? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sweet. There you go. Art Bell has
Put
it.
the video on there.
All right, cool. And Keith put the video on the Art Bell page. For all those who are on Art Bell, go check it out right now, and you will see what we're talking about. You mean this person here has some leg muscles to be moving through the snow that fast.
I mean, even just looking at him, he looks like he's determined to get out of there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though you're looking at the back of him, just his body language kind of thing looks like he's like wanting out.
Right.
I don't know though.
Now check this out.
It looks too close, though. They're really close to it.
Right.
Yeah.
They are. Now, if if this was a guy in a costume, all right, the costume would be
Not even
baggy.
a costume, just something all one color that you
okay.
wear in the.
Well, look at
snow.
his head though. His head looks way too small.
Well,
That's exactly how the Bigfoot I saw looked.
Oh.
not all of them have pointed heads. I heard there some different. The Yetis and the Sasquatch. They all have depending on the location. I think that's because of the pointed heads and the regular heads but this guy was moving. All right, this guy was moving fast in the snow.
You go by like their body. The body is massive looking, and that usually will give it away. The head you can't go by if it's pointy or conical or
right
whatever.
I don't know. Just the way this guy was
The way they
moving.
walk.
Yeah, the guy with the way this thing was moving, he was moving really fast, and the snow was all the way up to his knees, and it's putting 1 foot in front of the other, 4 feet at stride. Okay, think about that before you make a decision about this guy in a costume, because put a Bigfoot costume on and go walk in the snow, and see if you can mimic this guy's speed.
How do we know it was 4 feet?
Well, I'm a human being. If I was to spread my legs that wide, and I'm 6'2", I could tell you it'd be about 4 feet.
Okay.
Plus, you'd probably be on your butt.
Probably falling down.
Falling down.
Yeah.
Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
Looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky. You realize you're not alone. Open your eyes. You can find trails that colors run.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle. Where might that be? In the most popular city in California, Fresno. All right, don't laugh. Yes, people. Yes. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. Welcome wherever you may be. I appreciate you being here on a Sunday evening when playoffs are happening. So you know what? Just mute the playoff. You don't need to listen to it. You can watch it and crank us up wherever you may be. We are broadcasting video on live stream as you are watching us right now. But if you don't want to watch it, you can go to the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Yes, the famous Art Bell website is broadcasting our feed worldwide on the Dark Matter Network, and we want to thank them for that. My co-host to my right, to your left, Alan Thomas.
Good evening, everyone.
And womaning the board in the dark corner of the Paranormal Central, way back there, Emerald Bonilla.
Hi, everybody.
We have another fantastic show tonight. I mean, this is getting awesome. One right after the other. And we have Dr. Turi on tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. And then we have Bigfoot witness with photos. And then we have another witness to the Gargoyle in Dayton, Ohio, guys. Oh my gosh. Yes, he called in. I think he works like for somebody very important, so we can't tell you guys who he is, because I have no idea who he is. But he's willing to come on and tell us a story, because that other guy from Dayton, Ohio, told his story. So he said, you know what, we need to back that story up. So that's going to be awesome. We got a long, so we got another killer show for you guys tonight, and I can't wait. So we're going to get on with the show. You guys all know we have the Squatch Report, Danny Valderrama, and we're going to get him on the line right now. Danny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Danny has his truck idling, right?
And full enthusiasm, I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cold down here in the basement.
I tell you, you know what?
Your mom's
boxes by the window.
We better send your mom some money so we can give you some
Think about fun, man.
some
I need a
dog food or cat food or something,
Oh,
and then crash and die. So, oh my God, Bigfoot!
So, this technically is a real picture of a Bigfoot. It's just not a living one.
Right.
It's there.
Exactly.
But, we had one of our viewers, Jamie Oxtolis. He found a cutout for sale on online.
Right.
And he put that picture up, and that's the next picture, picture 2.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't see that.
And,
you got it.
So you found one for sale online.
All right, Jamie, we're giving you props here, buddy. We're giving you props, Jamie. Jamie, I couldn't pronounce the last name. Alcalas?
Oxtolis.
Oxtolis? Okay.
It's the same thing.
Identical,
Look it.
huh?
There it is.
It's identical, and it's for sale, cardboard cutout. And they also have, you can buy the just the pattern and make your own out of steel or wood or plywood. Make your own, put it up.
Now, even
the neighbors.
Even the media took this and ran with it. A lot of the media.
saying-
Yeah, a lot of the media. No, we're talking like NBC and Fox and all those guys were running this story. And come on, you guys, look. Just do your homework, and wait until Paranormal Central comes out with the debunking here before you put it up, because you guys are giving us making us look bad. I'm serious. I mean, those guys are. I mean, eventually, it's we find out what it is, and all of its media puts this out and then makes us look bad because it's a hoax. It's what it is. It's a joke. Somebody was playing around as a joke, and they're on their property, but yet it's making us look bad because the media is posting it all over the place, and then finally they're going to come out. Oh, look at it! It was just a cardboard cutout. See, there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Boom.
Yeah, and we also have another viewer who actually lives in Ohio.
Okay.
Took it upon himself to go out there. It's Reverend William Egan. He does the Rev Report.
That's right.
He has his own
Rev.
little talk show. And he took his picture. That's the next picture. And just like I said if they went back out there, because they said that they were too scared to go back out there and look for evidence.
Right.
I said if they did, it'd still be out there. So Reverend went out there, and he sent in the picture, and it's still there.
And guess what? It's
He
a
was
Blob
driving,
Squatch. It's
right?
blurry.
Was he
It
driving?
looks like he's driving.
Yeah, he's driving.
Okay, yeah,
Picture.
I'm just messing
That's
around.
kind of cool.
So, and there it is. So it's still
Confirmation. It's still there.
It's still there.
It may not be she may not be hoaxing it. It's just a misidentification.
Right.
You see that real quick and
Well,
freak out. And
but you know
turn
what?
around.
Okay, now, hey, wait a minute now. If he was driving and he took this, the other one's pretty damn clear if it's a cell phone. So obviously they stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, they stopped and they took the picture
And
they
they
were
knew
going,
it was
oh,
fake.
it's fake. But okay, let's put it out anyways. Obviously, that's pretty much telling you right now that nurse knew exactly what it was. Because even
Pretty easy to tell.
yeah. I mean, the Rev pretty much just, he debunked it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So they weren't driving; they stopped. Boom, busted.
Yeah, for a picture that
For a picture
clear.
that clear, absolutely. On a cell phone, yeah, busted.
And thanks,
It's
Rev,
great
for
that
going out
Paranormal
there.
Central has viewers everywhere that can just get out there and go check
Absolutely.
stuff out for us.
That's right. Don't try hoaxing it because we're going to debunk you. Sweet. All right, next one.
It's from the next one is from the Crypto Mundo page.
Okay.
And there's a new Orang Pendek expedition that's starting this week. This is on January 12th. Daniel Antal sent a report that he was going to be making his fourth Orang Pendek expedition in Sumatra. And even though it's the height of the rainy season, he says that the best evidence has been coming from during the rainy season because they come out from deep in the rainforest and they're more active around human settlements during this time. So he hired the best jungle guides, and he's going to be out there looking for forensic evidence and photographs, and he'll be taking pictures and doing all his research, and he won't be back until February. So it's going to be a long expedition out there. And then the next, he has 3 working possible.
Okay, so we're guesstimating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a little kid.
No.
They did take foot casts in the snow, and when they pulled the foot cast out, it appeared to have toes on it. So that's kind of weird.
Okay. Yeah, there's that.
But the group was up there because they said that they had seen on TV that there was reported sightings up there. So they got a group together and they went up there and they interviewed some witnesses along the mountainside. And one of the witnesses said that he was at his door and he saw something big and shaggy walk by. And he said that the creature looked like a bear, but was not a bear because it was walking away.
Right.
And then another witness heard footsteps outside of his place, and he accounted for everybody inside the house, and they went outside and they saw just huge footprints. They didn't see what it was. But they said that whatever it was, to make that footprint that deep in the snow would have to be 200 kilos. And for our drug friends out there, that's 440 pounds. So that's and they made plaster casts, and they said they gave all their evidence to the local scientists to see what they could come up with. But when they got up to the mountain, they were stunned to hear the crunching sound. So it sounds like as soon as they got up to the mountain, they got this footage of a hairy creature, which is
That's awesome.
pretty incredible
See?
by itself.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know what? That's usually when you get the great stuff. It's when you hear of a sighting, you just jam on over there as quick as you can, and that's probably what happened here.
They didn't have a trackway with it. You know, like
no, they didn't say anything about a trackway or how long the strides were or anything like that. But I've seen pictures of reported Bigfoot sighting in the snow. The tracks are pretty far apart,
right,
and they have trouble finding where the other footprint is because they're believing how far apart the steps are. And these don't look too far apart, but they're still pretty good size.
Yeah. I mean, it could be even farther than 4 feet. I mean, we don't know how big.
Some of the
is.
local.
Yeah, we don't know. How
some
big
of the local residents think that it might be just a publicity stunt for tourism because there's only like a 12,000 population at their little town that they have there. But others are convinced that this is the Yeti or Bigfoot or whatever they've been seeing up there.
Cool. All right. Right on.
We'll
All right.
have to wait and see.
That's it. Hopefully there'll be some more video or pictures. So.
Can we go to Russia?
Yeah. All right. Got the next picture up.
Go find the gargoyle.
I remember this one.
All right. This is the nurse from Ohio.
Right.
Snapped a picture. This is just about on every Bigfoot page. And it's from January 15th in LaGrange, Ohio. And this nurse driving past, I think she was with her family because it said her husband and her children were freaked out. But she snapped a picture of a Bigfoot in northeastern Ohio. And, the picture wasn't released by her. It was released by her cousin who saw it and said that they were all freaked out about it and didn't know what to do. So he released the photo on his Facebook page, and it just kind of took off from there. And it was taken on January 11th around 2:30 p.m. And, it's...
and you figured it out. What was it?
Well, as soon as I saw it, you after looking at all this Bigfoot stuff, you kind of recognize things as soon as you see them, and that's like frame 352 from the Patterson-Gimlin film. It's Patty.
Patty.
It's Patty. That's the actual picture when she looks back at the camera. Although you can't see a head turn on this, it's when she has her both arms out and she's looking back at the camera.
So
I don't know if this is a hoax, but this is like a misidentification.
Right. No. Well, I think this was now someone has a similar thing in Oakhurst, I believe.
Yeah.
So somebody has a cutout of a Bigfoot.
And you showed that picture several times already,
on a plywood, and it's out in the cow pasture basically. And when people drive by, you can see it, and they do it just for fun. And this
you're
person
driving
here,
and you look real quick and turn your head back on the road.